What's cracking, Raider Nation? What's cracking? What's cracking? What's cracking? Chilling. How's everybody out there, man? I can't really hear shit, so what the fuck's going on? Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now I got it. All right, what's cracking, Raider Nation? What's cracking, man? Now we on it. Had a little technical difficulties right there. Ah, man. This is getting crazy, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man, but it's not good, that's for sure. The OC, man. I mean, first Cliff Kingsbury, you know what I mean? It was I thought it wasn't a bad hire, but I didn't think it was the greatest hire with the Cliff Kingsbury, but also, dog, you know what I mean? Now with the fucking, the swirls are now that it's most likely gonna be Getsy. I mean, I wish it was they could hold up on it, you know what I mean, to maybe get Kubiak in the building, you know what I mean, maybe get, Bienemy actually in the building, which that's kind of surprising, even that they were even in talks with Bienemy. But hey, man, just to even know that they were even in talks with them, it's different, man. But to be honest, man, I don't know about the Getsy move, man. I don't know if they're just scrabbling because now he put Cliff kind of pulled out of his deal, so now that they're looking like they're scrabbling to try to get somebody in the building, and it looks like he might be the guy, according to Albert Breer. But damn, man, it's just upsetting. It's upsetting Saturday night news. But yeah, man, we're here, you know what I mean? We're reporting it, but yeah, it's not. I don't think it's something that the nation was waiting for. I don't think it's something that the you know what I mean. I don't think that it's something that we were expecting. But especially because it was the twist, man. I think especially with Adam Schefter kind of reporting it on the other day with kind of officially, it sounded like it was official for that he was hired, but looks like he didn't want a 2-year deal, man. Like according to people around, everywhere, everybody's saying that he didn't want the 2-year deal. He wanted a 3-year deal, which Washington looks like they're gonna be able to get him. You know what I mean? Washington looks like they're gonna be able to give him that 3-year deal, which that's what he was looking for. To be honest, I don't know if that's what it was or if he just was the rumors are that Washington might if Chicago doesn't hold on to that the first overall pick, that Washington might be the team that maybe goes up to go trade up for that number 1 overall pick to trying to get maybe Kyler, which that's what Cliff Kingsbury kind of had in mind. Kind of was one of his selling points on sticking somewhere for a job. So it's fucked up, man, because that this type of situation reminds us of the fucking any little situation like this kind of reminds us of McDumbass, you know what I mean, with he had those type of things that happened to him before with Indianapolis, and now we're having it happen to us with fucking, with Cliff Kingsbury. But who knows, man? I hope I don't like the news that Getsy's gonna be hired, but I don't know. What do you guys think about it, man? What do you guys think about it in the chat, man? Let me know. Let me know you guys' thoughts, man, on Getsy being, Getsy possibly being the guy. And who do you guys, hope that we might bring into the building maybe in the next couple of days, if that news doesn't turn out to be true. You know what I mean? So let's put it in the chat, man. Put some names in the chat, or how you guys feeling about Getsy, man? How you guys feeling about Getsy? And let me put something in the chat as well, dog. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Today's the fucking, anybody's welcome. You know what I mean? So we're just putting the fucking link in the chat. Anybody wants to, pull up. Oh yeah, man, it's more than welcome, more than welcome. You know what I mean? Fucking anybody in the chat, man. Pharaoh, I see you in the chat, Pharaoh. Man, anybody's welcome. Arkham, Jaw Raider, anybody, man. Circus. Yeah, man, it's an open forum tonight, man. It's just a smokeout, Saturday night smokeout. You know what I mean? Just chilling. There was quite a bit of news today. In the nation, kind of had the nation up in a little stir. You know what I mean? With the news. You don't really get this all the time. You know what I mean, guys? When guys are already kind of penciled in for their position. You know what I mean? Cliff Kingsbury was thought to be already the OC. You know what I mean? Kind of I was already a couple days already, so it kind of looked like we were going to start spearheading, the plan for the offseason. But yeah, man, it was a surprise to me for sure, man. Like that, just to get that news, I thought, maybe Cliff Kingsbury was going to be our guy, because there was nothing else that was saying otherwise. But I guess, yeah, man. I guess 2 years wasn't enough for him, I guess. But yeah, man. My guy has been, my guy always from the beginning was Zach Robinson. He kind of got snatched up by the Raheem Morris and Atlanta. But after that, my attention kind of turned to Clint Kubiak. But you know what I mean? That shit's not. It looks like they're kind of scrambling and trying to. I looks like they're kind of falling under the pressure. I don't know if it's a move out of desperation, because they lost their guy today in their original guy in Cliff Kingsbury. So I don't know if it's a desperation move and reaching out for Getsy. You know what I mean? Because that was kind of I don't know if he sounds like he was the second choice this whole time in this process with the OC hiring process, because he was brought in multiple times for multiple interviews. So it looks like Getsy it was the original second guy anyway. But oh man, it's just, I mean, the only thing that kind of is true, which somebody put right now in the chat right now. I think somebody put it a little bit ago that Getsy might be the reason right here. Look at. You gotta be more pissed when Luke gets Fields. Yeah, that's I think that's what's it could turn into. You know what I mean? That I think for sure that's what it could turn into with you know what I mean? Getsy being familiar with Fields, and I don't know, Getsy might think that might be the guy to run his offense. But who knows, man? Maybe he knows that what we don't know, and maybe some of us that want Fields, maybe Getsy knows that he's not the guy, and Getsy might want to trade the guy for the trade up for our guy for our future as well, or just maybe stay put at 13, and maybe he thinks he could turn the guy, maybe a guy at 13, possibly into the next franchise quarterback, man. But one thing's for sure, we're going to need a quarterback. You know what I mean? I think that's man, it's fucking crazy, man. But it's some sad news tonight, man. But we're gonna smoke it out. We're gonna smoke it out for sure. I mean, it's we still got, I think, our guy a head coach. I think it's at the end of the day, it's still it's still better qualified than what we had last year. You know what I mean? To be behind the helmet, offensive coordinator, because at least he has anybody who we're bringing in is going to be more qualified and more experienced for it. Just because for the simple fact, like it's not always experience, or it's not always qualifications, but at the end of the day, Bo just wasn't getting it done at the end of last year. The offense just looked stagnant at times. The offense would just get figured out kind of too easily, and it was obvious we had to make a move there. Obviously, you know what I mean. It's Captain Obvious, you know what I mean. Kind of stating the obvious, but um, to be honest, like damn man, it's kind of bittersweet, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's bitter because it's not the guy that we wanted, but it's kind of sweet because we're gonna end up getting a guy that's more qualified anyway, you know what I mean? But I mean, like, we gotta have some silver linings to it, I guess. But and I guess that's one of them. But not happy, in the least, that's for sure. Hopefully, the news is not 100% true, because it seems like this guy, even Adam Schefter's wrong. You know what I mean? Adam Schefter didn't even have this kind of mapped out, but we're gonna see, man. Hopefully that the Getsy news is not 100% concrete. So hopefully we still able to go out there and maybe get some more looks at some other guys, man, for the offensive coordinator job. I really do hope that we bring in, Bienemy and a Clint Kubiak, man, and just on that note, we got we got the homie backstage. We got Gravy backstage. Yeah, we got Gravy backstage, yes sir. And we got the for show, man, for show. Gravy, how's it going, man? How's it going, man? How's it going? Fucking got the other homie backstage too right now. Shit, we got we're chilling right now, but we're gonna bring him up right now. What's up, Gravy? What's up? Oh shit, what happened? What happened? Gravy, what happened? Can I hear you, Gravy? Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Gravy? Gravy. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you, dog. I can't hear you. Shit, man. What's up? What's up? Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Gravy. Go back on. Come back in. I think because we can't really hear you. We can't hear you.
Yo.
There it is.
You got me?
Yes. There it is.
You had me waiting so long, dude. But my wireless headphones ran out of battery. I had to charge it up.
I was at the fucking. I was eating dinner, but we didn't get back to a little bit later. But yeah, for sure. We got the homie backstage too. Shit, we got to open forum today. Shit, we got an open forum. Shit, we haven't seen him in a while, dog. You know, we haven't seen him in a while. We got 2 people backstage. Shit, it's gonna. Let's see. We got the homie. We got Dirty. And we got Pharaoh. Shit. Oh, dang.
What's good, man? Hey, this is a reunion.
How you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on with everybody, man? How's everybody doing?
Cracking, man. What's cracking? Back to the SMOKEOUT hour. What's cracking, man?
Man.
How you guys doing, man? What are you guys feeling? How you guys feeling, man, tonight? Fucking that shit, some bittersweet type of news, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't know. It might work out in the long run, but to be honest, right now it's just it's bittersweet news because I just don't like seeing this type of shit where guys are pulling out from this type of shit, like Paul's pulling out type shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's just, how do you guys feel? How you guys feeling?
I'm not feeling good at all.
I'm pretty happy about it, truthfully. I didn't want him in the first place. I haven't been high on Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not going to be high on Cliff Kingsbury. It's like he hasn't really done much of anything, and then he's wishy-washy, that was one of the things. A lot of players talk about how they don't really rock with him like that. He's not a player's coach. I didn't think he actually fit in to what it is they're trying to do. Now, this other guy, Getsy or whatever his name is, I'm not on his train either. You know, I would like for them to continue to do their due diligence. There's no need to rush into getting a OC right now. You know what I mean? Like, you can wait a week or two till the Super Bowl is over. You can wait till then. You know, like, you don't have to just go out and sign somebody immediately right now, because then it feels rushed. And then we'll feel like you didn't really do your, because this new guy, I mean, like, really, what has he done? What's his resume? You know, I need somebody in here I feel like can actually get something done. I need somebody who can run the ball as well as pass the ball. I don't need a one-track minded offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? You have a dual-headed monster in the backfield as it stands right now. If you bring back Josh Jacobs and add him with a Zamir White, you have a dual-headed monster. And then you have your wide receivers on the outside. All you're really lacking at this point in time on your offense is some blocking up front and a quarterback who can get it done. I mean, but if you don't want to run the ball, it takes away option. You know what I mean? And then there goes your offense down the line, down the drain, because everybody knows what it is you want to do. So for me, I feel like we dodged the bullet. I'm happy about it, and I hope they keep looking for somebody. You know, don't settle just to settle, bro.
Yeah, I know. No,
Yeah,
I'm just more upset about that part, like what I was saying. But go ahead, Pharaoh. Go ahead.
Yo,
I'm
you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Am I
right now.
good?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You good. Yeah, man. Hey, for right now, I'm gonna be Mr. Pessimist. I'm usually the optimist, man. I usually got to keep a positive, because you know, at the end of the day, man, I want to see good football. So I'm always gonna be wanting to see something good coming out of the Raiders. But right now, look, the Raiders' first choice was Kingsbury. Whatever Kingsbury said to AP had him wanting to hire him. Obviously, we knew that with Kingsbury, we knew that what was going to come with that. A young QB, a talented young QB, probably trade up maybe the top of the draft. You know, and with Kingsbury, he probably, he took a year off from college. I understand, like, his offense wasn't as exciting as it should have been. It was a lot of hype, but it didn't end well with Arizona. But he was a head coach at the time. Head coach is not the same as a coordinator, and we should know that. We just had a head coach who had success as a coordinator, but as a head coach, he wasn't.
That's why this type of situation just kind of like irks me the wrong way, because he's been in this type of situation. That guy was in this type of situation, and now we're in this type of situation with this guy. That's the only thing that kind of irks me the wrong way, like, about this whole thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't like the situation that we're in, and it looks kind of like we're scrambling now. You know what I mean?
And it just smells like the same old Raiders. Every year, it's something. The Raiders are in the news for the wrong reasons. Why are we having a coach that we pretty much, from what it sounded like, we officially hired, and then all of a sudden he backed out of the deal, and now it sounds like he's headed over to some Commanders. Why is it happening? Why is it happening to the Raiders? And then, to make matters worse, it seems like the Raiders panicked, and they signed an OC in Lou Getsy, who, if you're gonna be aggressive in getting a quarterback, and if you're a defensive head coach and you're putting all your eggs in getting that OC hire right, like, if you're trying to get that OC hire is huge for a defensive.
Yeah. Oh shit! You kind of froze up right there.
Remember in the press conference for AP, they asked him, "What are you looking for in an OC?" And then he joked and said, 24 points. But Lou Getsy, literally the 2 years that he was with Chicago, didn't even average 20 points.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
he was like 21 points or something.
I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan. It seems like he's had success running the football as a coordinator, but
it's
well, let me tell you this. After when I think obviously AP likes him, and it's his decision for the coach. It's his decision for the coaching staff.
It's a second decision though. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
secondary decision. So he does. He
Well,
might.
the first
he-
one. Well, from what I'm hearing, is just it was a money thing. It was a contract issue. So, if he thinks he deserves this amount of money and we don't want to pay him, then it is what it is. But him going to Washington, we're hearing that Caleb is gonna bitch and cry that he don't want to go to Chicago, and if Washington has a second pick, he's gonna be with this guy. But
I would love to see. I would love to see them. Like as much as like like it is against the right away, but they have just the mere fact that they have been in contact with them. You know what I mean? It kind of like I would love to see them bring in Eric Bienemy, a Clint Kubiak. You know what I mean? To and hopefully that this isn't a concrete thing with the Getsy news.
This is not this is not a choice AP is going to make, bro. I just read the guy's resume. You know what I mean? This is not a choice AP is going to make. I think this is something that
AP in his press conference said that he wanted to run the football. This guy had the second-rate rushing offense in the NFL last year.
Yeah, but we also want to throw the ball too.
Well, he didn't say throw the ball in his press conference. He just said throw the vertical.
He did.
He said vertical.
But
that averages 100.
Throwing the ball. That's throwing the ball.
He averages 141 yards of rush. That's more than we've ever had in the last fucking 10 years.
But does that mean that we're gonna get? Does that mean we're gonna try to go out and get Fields? Is that like with that type of news? Is because Fields is a big part of that rushing attack. So if we don't have a Fields here, is it gonna be the same type of rushing attack still? You know what I mean? Because it's like,
I mean, why would you want to bring both of them over? And like that just doesn't make any sense, bro. It didn't work in Chicago. It ain't gonna work here.
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened earlier. It was like a connection issue, but
he doesn't have anything in Chicago. Neither did Getsy. So if the dude, you could agree. Okay, look at resumes. Everybody that we want hasn't been an offensive coordinator.
Well, Bienemy has.
Bienemy has,
but
Hugh Jackson has.
And we can't get Cliff Kingsbury on a contract. What makes you think we can get Bienemy on a contract?
Well, because they've been and talked with him, but I know that they've now this could open the door for him, but it's not that now. It's just is how much of it's true about this report about Getsy. I mean, that's the only thing. Like that's what I think is the hurdle to see if we're even going to be even in the running for one of those type of guys. But with the news right now, I think kind of clouding with the Getsy type thing, and then especially with the the surprise news of Kingsbury kind of not kind of pulling out of the position is just
I was cool with that.
I'm not too mad about that. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not too mad about that position because I wasn't too high on that either. Like I was kind of like okay with it. Like now that that was happening, because maybe that might have meant the biggest reason why I was not too mad about it is because I think that we were for sure going to make a big push to try to go get our guy in the first round. So that was kind of that's the part of it that was making me happy. But now just him not there. That's why I say kind of bittersweet. It's bitter because like we're in this situation, but sweet that we're kind of going out of that. That because he never was an offensive coordinator, but he was a head coach. But like Farrell said, he was a head coach, but it is different from being an offensive coordinator. But oh man, it's just.
Look, I'm never a big fan of your guy was your guy and you lost out on him, and it seems like today they panicked and they hired Luke Getsy, and I felt like out of all the candidates they interviewed, he was the worst one. He was the worst one.
Did they actually hire him, or is it still just a rumor?
I think
Hey, you
it's
know what? That's a very good question, Dirty. That's a very good question.
I honestly believe this is a ploy. I think somebody in the Raiders leaked a little something to some reporters. You know what I mean? And what they're trying to do is get maybe one or two of these guys that they interviewed that said, "Well, let me think about it," to speed up their thought process. You know what I mean?
Fowler said it's almost guaranteed, bro. So Fowler's a
no,
good. He's a good source.
I mean, Adam
Was it Fowler?
Schefter is supposed to be almost a guarantee. Now, I just heard, I could be wrong. You know, I've been wrong before, but I was told that Cliff Kingsbury wanted something close to a head coach's contract. You know what I mean? As in being paid and the amount of time that he was going to be there. You can't have that in your organization. You can't have an offensive coordinator getting paid on the same lines as your head coach and given the same amount of time. Like, there's going to be an issue, you know? So, you know, for me, like I said, I feel like we dodged a bullet, bro. I didn't think he fit with our team anyway.
Shout out to Derek Luden in the building, man. Fields, he says Fields gets hurt as much as Garoppolo. Oh shit.
Nah,
okay,
not that much. Not that much.
$2.
Shout out to $2. Hey, I haven't really been getting to the chat. You know, fucking, I'm high as hell, man. I mean, it is the smoke out hour, but yeah, we go get to.
He has been hurt every year of his NFL career.
He has
been hurt every year of his NFL career. Started 2 years prior in college. He's been hurt every year since.
He has been hurt at some point or another in every season, I think, in his professional career.
I called him Mr. Glass.
And I hope that we don't find out that Telesco has something to do with this coaching hire. I hope he had nothing to do with this coaching hire, because obviously,
a little bit. He has to pay the guy.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is one of the weak points of Telesco, if you looked at if you were going to critique Telesco, was his coaching hires from the Brandon Staley's, from I forgot that Anthony Lynn as head coach didn't work out.
So I think that's one of the main reasons why they hired AP before they hired Telesco.
Nah, I don't think. I think they knew who their head coach was going to be. I just felt like they needed to take their time with that GM. I don't think that was the case. But it just, the Getsy move, out of all the candidates they interviewed, he was the worst. He was the worst one, man. And I felt like they just got desperate. They felt like they needed to get someone in the building as soon as possible, because they didn't expect to lose out on Kingsbury.
Why? But why, Farrell? Why would they rush it when you still have the Super Bowl there?
I think they're trying to apply pressure to somebody to make up their mind, bro. Truthfully.
I don't understand why. I don't understand why there would be so much pressure on the head coach when the Super Bowl's not done yet, and then there's two, valuable, assets out there on the 49ers that you could get with Greasy and Kubiak. Yeah, that's out there looking for jobs. Out of them, everybody loves Kubiak, but Greasy's the best one.
Yeah, but I think it's who's going to be available. You know what I mean? I think who's going to be available, but I think just kind of getting any knowledge from that type of offense over there, because you see how that coaching tree from that tree, I don't know how they did it. I don't know how it never panned out. We know with the Commanders. I think maybe because it was just Snyder as the owner or whatever. But I don't know how that group of coaches never worked out together with Shanahan, LaFleur, you know what I mean, McVay, just all of those guys, Raheem Morris, was it Raheem Morris or? Yeah, I think it was. But
they weren't mature. They weren't at their positions yet. They got better.
I just think that but just getting somebody from that type of tree, you know what I mean. You see guys, from like, you got to be able to. Kind of get some of that knowledge, you know what I mean? And you see Shanahan's offense, successful, with that when he was with Atlanta, now with the Niners, you know what I mean? It's just, you just see it, it's something that's successful. So I would think that it would be wise to kind of wait up and maybe we don't have our quarterback yet anyway. I don't think we have our quarterback yet of the future anyway. So what's kind of the rush? You know what I mean? Like,
But you know that
let's
you're gonna get a QB. Not to cut you off, but you know you're going to get a QB. So you want someone in the building that can develop. You know why? You know why Raider Nation right now, for the most part, is they're disgusted
I agree.
by
I agree.
today is because we know with a coach like AP, he needs to have a good staff around him.
No, yeah, no, I agree. I agree with the you know, I agree that that's like we have to you know, have the right guy or whatever like that, but it's just we're gonna get a quarterback. You know, we're gonna have to get a quarterback and stuff like. But I just think that we would be wise to get the right, you know, OC in here to eventually get that right quarterback in here. You know what I mean? So it's like let's wait up, and I don't think there's no hurry to get that guy, because I think what an extra week of, you know, maybe what was that going to be an is that going to hurt the evaluation, you know, process and stuff like that? Which I don't think so. You know what I mean? I think maybe waiting up and getting the right guy in the building is gonna, you know, kind of, you know, over fucking.
But Gabe, your right guy has never been an offensive coordinator before. So you're like getting a Bo Hunter degree, but he hasn't called plays, bro.
Who you're talking about? Kingsbury?
No, Kingsbury would have got hired. I would have been cool with that. But now we should have got Kubiak. We should have waited to get Kubiak. You know what I mean?
He did call.
I think what it is not a flashy ass name, and then we're starting to investigate this guy. Is that he's only been an offensive coordinator 2 years? He's an offensive coordinator for a sorry ass team with a good offensive minded head coach, and he got rid of his whole offensive staff because they're not like him.
Who?
They're not. Eberflus. He got rid of that whole offensive staff.
No, but he needed a scapegoat. He needed a scapegoat. Look, so everybody was talking about how Eberflus was on the hot seat, but when they kept Eberflus, you know what it is. Anytime when a team doesn't live up to expectations, like go to the playoffs or accomplish what they need to accomplish for that coach staff to move forward, someone needs to take the heat. And in that case, Eberflus stayed, and they put it all on Luke Getsy. And it was an easy move because, you know, the fan base for Chicago hates Luke Getsy, by the way. If y'all want to know any intel on Luke Getsy, the Chicago fan base will tell you everything you need to know. They hate him as a play caller. They did not like him as a offensive coordinator. People, you know, they love Fields out there. They were like chanting his name. So the quarterback wasn't an issue for them. It was more of the OC, and we're getting the same OC, which is terrible.
He was terrible. He was only given like a year and a half, something like that. You know what I mean? And he's already been fired. You know, like he doesn't have the experience. Honestly, I don't know how he got the job in Chicago. Really, you know what I mean? He doesn't.
A good offensive coordinator thinks highly of him.
Eberflus
is a good offensive coordinator.
I mean, look at the colleges that he coached at. You know what I mean? They're not no big name schools, and they didn't do much of anything. You know, this was almost like you were given a job on a fact that maybe you might be a distant relative or something. You might be the wife's second cousin. You know what I mean? And that's how he got the job as an offensive coordinator. We honestly do not know. But we know that they recognize that they made the wrong decision early. You can see that they recognize they made the wrong decision early, and now we gonna jump into the pot and make the wrong decision. Honestly, I believe this is just something to write. I don't think it really has any validity to it. I don't think it's gonna take off. I think they're gonna really sit back and get somebody for real. You know what I mean? Somebody worthwhile. If Bienemy is fired tomorrow, you have a conversation with him. I wouldn't be Hugh Jackson. He just lost his job with Grambling. You know, wait a minute. I can't fault him for that.
Didn't they just?
There we go, getting all this old shit back and making all these old folks happy.
I'm not saying
Hugh Jackson again. I don't want Hugh Jackson again, dude.
I'm not saying
that'll be disgusting.
Look, what I'm saying, Gravy, is get somebody with a resume. I'm not saying get Hugh Jackson. What I'm saying is get somebody with a resume. Get somebody who's proven to be able to have done something in the NFL.
Bienemy is already fired, right? Bienemy's already not out of a job, right? Because they're trying to hire
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury for that same job. So that has to mean that Bienemy's already up for a job, because I think the Raiders have. I know that's there's already reports out there that the Raiders have at least been in talks with him. You know what I mean? They've already had preliminary talks, I guess, with him for bringing him into the building. Now I don't know how much truth there is to that. So because you know how the history on that shit, but you know what I mean, it would be cool to bring him into the building, dog. Like, just because I think that's a guy with the most experience, and especially in this division, especially because the guy that runs the division, in Patrick Mahomes, basically that's the guy that knows him best. You know what I mean? That would be the guy that knows him best, and I think that would be very, very smart. You know what I mean? To bring him into the building, at least fucking for an interview. You know what I mean? Because that's the guy that I think has the most. I mean, we're talking about experience and all of that shit. I think that's the guy that would probably make the most sense, just because you know what I mean. It's just it just does. You know what I mean? I think any quarterback that we bring in the building, I think Eric B will be able to, you know what I mean, run an offense that's going to, you know what I mean, be able to be good, because you've seen him be able to have. Look at what he did with what's his name last week, Sam Howell. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. I think that it would be smart to bring in Eric B into the building, at least for an interview, bro.
And going back to
why did Eric Bienemy only last a year for Washington? I know they got a new coach.
New coach.
They got rid of Ron. They got new ownership. They got rid of Ron. You know what I mean? And I just think Eric Bienemy, to be honest, I think
new ownership brought him in, though. That's the problem.
Wanted to step down as well.
He's supposed to be one of the best offensive minds in football, and you get rid of him.
I think what Washington wants is
reputation has to come with that.
You know what I mean? I think they're on two different pages. Bienemy and the Commanders are on two different pages. But Gabe, I appreciate you as always, Brody. I gotta run out. You know what I mean? It's 11 o'clock, man. Sure. Saturday night, you know how that goes for me. The Dirty Lunatic.
Yes, sir.
Gravy, my brother. Always a pleasure to speak with you, man. I know I don't talk to you a lot. Understand? I still like you. I still respect you. I still rock with you, even though I don't talk to you all that often. And Pharaoh, my guy, bro, I haven't seen you in forever. I mean, I used to play all the time, but the same thing for you, bro. I still rock with you. I still respect you. I still love you, bro.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Appreciate you, my guy.
On the rebound.
Yes, sir.
All right.
For sure.
All right.
I like what Raider Zach. I like the Raider Zach. Raider Zach was saying exactly what I mean.
Well, earlier, Gravy, you were talking about Clint Kubiak, right? And you were saying that the guy's never been a play caller. He actually was a play caller for the Vikings for one season, and they had him
as a coordinator for Vikings.
Yeah, and he was a play caller, and they were like top 15 offense under Mike Zimmer. But and there's some potential with them. There's some with especially because he was like the last few seasons he was with the Niners under Kyle Shanahan, so I'm sure he learned a lot. Why did the Raiders even interview him? I know
they can't interview him.
No, they can't get an in-person interview. They still can have an interview.
You have virtual, but
exactly.
I bet you it's something like he has other things to worry about though, Farrell. You know what I mean? Then
hey, the Saints are basically getting ready to offer him a contract, which he's most likely going to accept. So if
it looks like 29 minutes ago, they just reported Raiders expected to hire Luke Getsy as offensive coordinator.
Yeah, it's official. It's looking like it's official, but you know what? That's what I said about Kingsbury, and we know how that happened. But it's I don't think that's gonna happen the second time around. I think it's gonna be Luke Getsy, and it seems like a desperate move, man. Because if you guys remember when before the week started, they said that the Raiders were gonna make a decision on OC this week. So they for sure had a deadline. And once they felt like Kingsbury was a guy, if you guys remember, Alex Van Pelt, the guy that they interviewed, the same day they hired Kingsbury, he goes to the Patriots. So I'm sure they informed the candidates they that they interviewed that, hey, you know what, we're going to go to Kingsbury route. So losing out on Kingsbury, you see how that really kind of messed up their whole plan at OC. Because if Kingsbury didn't want the job to begin with, or that didn't work out, they probably would have went to an Alex Van Pelt. They could have went a different route. But now they're almost settling for Luke Getsy, who, as we talked about, like, he's run top run offenses, but hasn't really developed a passing offense. And maybe that might be because of Fields. Fields is a running quarterback. He has, he's still developing as a passer, but
look what he had, dude. Look what he had, though. DJ Moore is not DA.
No,
they don't have any other. The commit is not even Hooper. Maybe better than Hooper, and not close to Myers right now, or Mayers right now. Jacoby Myers, they don't have a number 2. Their offensive line sucks. You got to put him in a position where he doesn't. You got to put him in a position where he don't have to run around. He don't have to be your leading rusher.
That's the same thing.
He was hurt most of the season. He was hurt most of the season, and they were second in rushing.
But that's the same thing we can say for Eric Bienemy in Washington. He didn't have those players, and look at what he did. He did wonders with Sam Howell. He had Sam Howell, the leading passer in the NFL for most of the season. So that's why I'm saying I think it's a desperate move to try. I think it's a very they're like you said. I think it's just the beginning. I just think that it's. I don't know, man. I just think that I don't.
Well, to play devil's advocate with Eric Bienemy, a lot of the Washington fan base really complained about his run the pass ratio. Like he was a pass heavy OC. He rarely ran the ball, and they have a talented running back. The Commanders do have a talented running back.
They were almost last in rushing last year. Just about last in rushing. And
a lot of that had to do with Eric Bienemy leaning on the pass game. So maybe that might be that's not where AP wants to go with that offense. He probably wants a little bit of a pass game. And they went with Kingsbury, but
as of right now, we don't have anybody to run Getsy's offense as well, because Fields was a big part of that run offense. So as of right now, we got AOC. You know what I mean? So we don't have.
They got some good running backs back there.
Yeah, but the part of Getsy's offense was the threat of the quarterback running. That's what made the running backs, even more threatening. But when they just can focus in on just the running backs, is it as effective?
Can be. If your offensive line is solid,
we're gonna have to. That's why it's gonna be even more desperate to make a move at quarterback for sure now. Which can be good. Which can be a blessing in disguise.
Hey, this is a random thought, but with all this, OC hires, this guy's getting hired, this guy's not pulling out on the deal, and now we can lose Getsy, who is the backup option at OC. Is there potential that AP could be a Michael Singletary at head coach? You know what I mean? A rah guy.
I think the fact that he has a
additional coach at head coach. You know what I mean?
I think he hired other guys though around that are good. Like he kept on to Bennett, as the wide receivers coach. That was a big move. I like the Ricky Manning, signing. I like the holding on to Patrick Graham, his influence on the defense. So I think that part of the defense, and as much as I think that we don't like the move with the Getsy or not, or we'd like it or not, it's an upgrade from Bo Hardegree no matter what. I mean, I think that's something to be said in itself. No matter what, I think it's going to be an upgrade from Bo Hardegree, and I think it's and at the end of the day, like I said, it could be a blessing in disguise. I think it's going to force us to kind of make a move at quarterback. You know what I mean? Well, the Getsy, I think can probably point us in the direction of a Fields maybe trade, before even the draft, or can make us push hard for maybe trading up, and maybe getting our guys. So I think that still doesn't change that fact, but either with Kingsbury or with Getsy, because I think like I said, I think the quarterback, the threat of the quarterback running in Getsy's offense, I think makes it the running game that much more dangerous. So I think that's why I think it's going to be a big emphasis, to get a quarterback who's mobile in this offseason, whether it's, a veteran in a Russell Wilson or a guy who's still young with potential in the fields, or a guy in the first round, maybe trading up to go get, maybe trading the farm to maybe trading up to go get a Jaden Daniels. One way or another, I think they're gonna, the emphasis is to try to get somebody who can move back there.
Yeah.
I'm low key saying that the potential with this guy is there, but he's not the hot choice. But look how fast they went from Kingsbury to Getsy. It means that he was on their radar from the get-go. You know what I mean? You don't make a decision that fast if they weren't impressed with what Getsy was getting at him with. And so being that he AP went on on his opening this thing where he got put on the Raiders head coach. He said, "Hey, I want to run the football. First thing, we're going to run the football." This dude that's consecutively ran the ball 2 years in a row, a top 5.
Yeah, I agree with the most though.
And then looking at Bienemy, he's last in rushing, bro. Near last in rushing.
Yeah. It's somehow it's Derek Carr's fault. Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. You're saying that it matches up with AP's philosophy running the ball. I mean, he's a defensive head coach. I think every defensive head coach wants to run the ball. Like it is what it is. I think a lot of people, when they bring up Eric Bienemy or some of these big name OC hires, is because they're thinking about the quarterback position, and they know that we're going to draft a QB. If you're going to draft a young QB, you want to develop them the right way. You don't want to mess up this OC hire. And everybody sees how the Fields and Lou Getsy experiment unfolded, and it didn't work out. And we can all agree that the Raiders are most likely going to be drafting a QB in the draft.
Yes.
So if that's the case, you're putting all your eggs in one basket with Lou Getsy, because if let's say this, let's paint out this scenario. If Lou Getsy doesn't work out with the Raiders, does that mean that's the end for AP?
I mean, that's the
a big hire. You know what I mean?
These type of hires can end up, costing you your job. I mean, like, he's a first time coach, so will his leash be as big as other coaches who have experience, who might get the benefit of the doubt, like, usually he takes a couple years to maybe turn it around, or does if he's if this kind of hurts us in the first year, does Mark has shown us that he's not that much knowledgeable as an owner himself. I mean, he made a cool move this year. I think the pressure kind of made him made the move for AP this year, but I don't know, man. Does he stick with AP? For just as long, if if he feels like, because he doesn't have that background, So it's like, and this is a big hire. This is a big hire that I think.
Pharaoh, you know what to get you fired? Trading your whole future to get one guy and he doesn't pan out. We can still that'll get you fired. That could get you fired quickly.
Not if you're a coach for the Niners. Not if you're a coach for the Niners.
Exactly. But the thing is, we ain't the 49ers. We constantly do this. We constantly do this. How many Aren't you guys tired of it? Now you're down with it again. I'm not saying you guys. Everybody's down with it again. And I go, you bitch about it. We bitch about it. Why we trade all this for this and Leatherwood and do this and that? Look what happened. It didn't pan out. And now we're gonna trade all the farm to make for AP not to be successful with no picks, and then in his future, and then the quarterback we give. What if he doesn't pan out? What if he's not? Everybody ain't CJ. Everybody's not gonna be CJ. Josh the go. Josh came on our show and told us that less than what 15% of the quarterback that pick in the first round are successful.
But
2% make the Pro Bowl. 2% make the Pro Bowl.
Only first round picks are making it to the Super Bowl. Those are the only guys that are making it in the last couple of years.
Ooh.
First or second round picks, like those are the only guys nowadays. That's
a
stat. That's a stat for history, but I think in the short term history, that's right now. You know,
said time. You said on shows time after time after time, Gabe, you're tired of waiting, bro. You're tired of waiting.
Who's on the other side, though? You know what I mean? Who's actually winning them?
Yep.
The first round pick. You know what I mean? The first round pick is the guy who's actually Purdy could change that this year, but the guy who's actually winning them is the first round pick. You know, the guy who actually. So, I don't know, man. I just think that.
But that was back in the day where Mahomes sat.
Well, hey, Gravy. With if with Luke Getsy as OC, I don't want us to trade up for. I want to, because it's
don't cater. Yeah, you can't cater to him because he might lose his job next year. There's plenty of OCs out there that you want.
Man, I don't.
You know what I mean?
Man. Because maybe if it was a young creator, like if it was a Kingsbury, or if it was a Zach Robinson, or even a Kubiak, there would have been an excitement. There would have been, okay, we got this guy for the next couple of years at OC. He's a top offensive mind, young offensive mind. Let's go draft. Let's go, because the Raiders are trying to win now. It's kind of obvious. Like they want to win now. Mark Davis wants to win now. Telesco got the job. I believe because he had a plan at QB to how to attack that position better than all the other candidates, and obviously the experience. Some of the
best coaches right now, like head coaches, you know, and all that shit, have been guys who jumped up from basically being almost like not even coordinators, you know what I mean? McVay, Zach Taylor, you know what I mean? Like those guys have, you know, been a guy who's been to the Super Bowl, a guy who's won the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? You know, McVay was an offensive coordinator, you know, that was Shanahan in Washington, you know what I mean? So it's like some of the better guys have you know, came from being, you know, not coordinators before, and they're just, you know what I mean, they're just ready to become, you know, they're ready to become offensive coordinators at that time, you know what I mean? And it's like, I think Zach Robinson was a perfect time to get him to become a coordinator, and I think Atlanta got a great coordinator in them, and I think, you know, Kubiak's gonna be that next guy. I think Greasy would be the guy, but if you could pluck him away, but I don't know if he's you know, I don't think he's even been in discussions, but Kubiak would be. He's a young dude with the I think that's I think has enough knowledge, I think, and enough, you know, even background, because I think his dad, you know, from his dad, you know, being a coach in this league for fucking many years, you know what I mean? So I think that's a guy who I think would have been a guy that would have been smart to go, you know, maybe look into, but I think now it's time to, you know, turn our attention to get to what it sounds like, you know what I mean? But we're gonna see, man.
And another thing too, the NFL is all about relationships. You know what I mean? Like who knows who? Like you just mentioned, Zach Robinson going to Atlanta. Obviously, he coached with Raheem Morris, so like he felt more comfortable going to Atlanta, even though he could have went anywhere else, but he went to go coach under his guy that he knew. And some of these candidates, obviously, they're interviewing for the OC job. They're selling the plan that they have on offense, but on top of that, I'm sure AP. You heard what AP said in the press conference when he talked about picking out his staff. He said he had to evaluate these guys and see if they, can be a coach for the Raiders, because not everybody's built to be a coach for the Raiders. So we might say Eric Bienemy, we might say some of these guys, these names, but as far as when they talk to
Is there a
AP,
name? Is there a
exactly.
name?
Yeah.
Gabe, in November, Gabe, we were talking about when AP got the job, right? And Bo was messing up. Yeah, we went on a 2-0 run. Then we started messing up. He started messing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were saying, well, what type of offensive coordinators would be good and this and that. We brought up Kingsbury. How many people in the chat were saying, hell no, you guys are crazy. And then when he got hired, I couldn't believe how many people was down with it.
No.
I couldn't believe how many people. I couldn't believe how many people was down with it.
I think when we were having those conversations, also though, like at one time, we ever fucking mentioned fucking Getsy. You know what I mean? And I think that's what rubs people the wrong way.
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe is it? Because that seems to be, not a good thing in future, in history.
Okay. We do that. You can say, if people want to say that Justin Fields was their leading rusher. I know he missed games last year, and I know Farrell, you're real good at that. Check and see how many rushing yards on the games that Justin Fields played last year, and how many yards was it around?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's like.
Well, everybody's saying because of Justin Fields, they're number 2 rushing team in the league.
But it's a big risk because we're getting a guy from a losing franchise, a losing record too. Like, what if it just expecting him to win with us is another risk in itself? Like, we got to get guys from winning organizations. We got to get guys who are already used to winning. Well, we have to get guys to be winning. No, not Bienemy. A Clint Kubiak, guys that are still going to be available next week because they're part of the Chiefs staff, or they're part of a 49ers staff. You know what I mean? It's like we're getting guys from losing organization. It's like, and we keep expecting them to change with us, and it's like that's the problem I think we've had in and of itself. We've had in this organization for years now too.
So Justin Fields, not to cut you off, Gabe. Justin Fields ran for 657 yards in 13 games last season. 657 yards. So, and he said he was the leading rusher for the Bears at 657.
He led rushing quarterbacks, I think, that year.
Oh, last season. More than
either him or it was either him, Allen, or Lamar.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Lamar was hurt. Lamar been always hurt.
Let's see, leading rusher.
Same thing.
Sure.
But anyway, thank you for that, Farrell. But they had a good running game, and I think that's what AP sees. That's what he wants.
Let's see.
And this guy has did it for 2 years. They're not expecting him to run for 600 yards or whatever. And if coming from a losing organization that constantly loses, bro.
So he was number 2. Justin Fields was number 2 behind Lamar for rushing yards at the quarterback position.
Like, I think in the last couple years, I think the only team that's lost, I think they're one of the losingest franchises themselves, you know what I mean, in the Bears, you know what I mean, in the last, decade. It's just like, fuck, man, do we really want to be getting guys from the Bears, coaching staff and shit like that? Like, that's the only thing I question about it. That's the, like.
But how could you be successful? How could you be successful in that organization?
But that's like, you like him as a coach. It has to be part of that to blame though too in that situation though, because like it's just man, we can't just not blame him.
You just don't like it. You just don't like it.
No, but we have that same argument when it comes to another guy. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that guy is not, that guy's never done this or done this. Like, it's like he's never done anything either. Yes, he hasn't done anything. And we know like it's like there's nothing to like about him. There's nothing to
Have
like
you looked?
about him.
Well, no. Well, he has led a top running offense since he's been an OC for the Bears. That's the one thing that he can hang his hat on. The question mark is developing a passing game, which we didn't see under. We could be
He was
honest.
20. He was like 21st or 20 something around there.
Nah, it was pretty bad. The passing offense, it was pretty bad for the Bears. It was.
Well,
it was
Fox
pretty-
on Fox it was like 21st.
Yeah, because I know Fields was like 21st in just no. I think Fields was 21st in accuracy. In just
I'll
like
It was
I'll
better
look
than
it up
ours.
right now.
It was better than ours. They were always on top of us.
in completion percentage. I think Fields. That's one thing he struggles in completion percentage. He's not the most accurate person. That's for sure.
Yeah, let me look.
So that could be a thing that maybe hurt Getsy's offense as well too, and that might be. That's why I was saying too. He could be a guy that either gets a Fields, or he might be the perfect guy that says, you know what, we don't need Fields because he's not reliable. He's not accurate enough, or this or that. You know what I mean? So he might be the perfect guy for that situation. But I don't know, man. It's just
I think Getsy wanted to get away from Fields. Man.
that's what I'm saying. Like he might be the perfect guy to know if Fields is the guy or not. You know what I mean? So that might
So the Bears last season had the 27th ranked pass offense.
See, that's
27th, but they were number two rush offense. Number 2 rush offense.
that's not.
That's unbalanced.
And hey, if you guys want to be honest, we played the Bears last season and we couldn't stop their run at all.
Okay.
They dominated, and they dominated with anybody that was. We made their running backs look like.
And that cat beat. What are you talking about, Gabe? That Getsy beat us with Badgett.
It's true.
Yeah,
I forgot about that shit. I forgot about that.
Yeah, undrafted.
That's also why we had McDumbfuck as a coach.
McDumbfuck for sure.
You know what I mean? It was definitely not the same. It would have been definitely not have been the same if we would have played him with AP at the helm.
So let's look at 2022 because he was the OC in that year too as well, and they had the Bears had the 32nd ranked pass offense. They had the worst pass offense in the NFL in 2022 with Luke Getsy.
And we still gotta, even if the run offense, right? Like I understand, we have some good running backs at the moment, but what if so we don't bring back a Jacob, so we're still relying the whole thing. We're gonna have to put the whole, we're gonna put the whole load on. We're ready to put the whole load on Zamir, right? We're ready to hold. Hey, that pause. That sounds nasty as fuck. We're ready to fucking, we're ready to have, let Zamir carry the, be the workhorse, back there.
Mm-hmm.
For
Fields?
And get Fields and whoever we bring in at quarterback, or if we stay with we don't happen to. Is that gonna amount to the running attack over there? Say like we stay at 13.
I'm not saying that, Gabe. I'm just saying, look what we had this year, bro. Nothing. Just something, bro.
I agree that it's gonna be better than what we had. That's what I finished saying too. Like it's like,
yeah,
I agree. It's gonna be better than Bo. Yeah, I mean,
and we could have won. We could have won games. Of the quarterback just ran around a little bit.
Is it gonna make that much of a difference when it comes time to it? Say we do get to, sneak into a playoff, berth, or do get into the playoffs. Is he gonna be the guy that's gonna get us to the promised land? That's what I think. What's the biggest question, dog? Is Getsy gonna be the guy that's what?
Hey, shout out to Raider Zach, man, because he's vouching for Getsy, man. He feels like Getsy that was the number 2 guy. He was number 2 guy.
Too.
I
said he He was in their plans, I think, right after. If it was that fast, it wasn't pressured. They could have waited for these other guys.
I mean, he obviously wasn't their first option because
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. So that's what kind of scares me too. That's what makes me think that they kind of scrambled and went for him because he wasn't their first option. He was a good high. From what reports are saying that what people that put out on Twitter and all that stuff that he interviewed well with the Raiders and he was a top candidate in the whole process and all that stuff. So he was a top candidate, but he obviously wasn't their first choice. That's what makes me think that they kind of scrambled for this. That's the only thing that makes me think about it because obviously he wasn't the first choice because Kingsbury was named earlier and it was a contract type thing that didn't let him get the job supposedly, right. Which I don't.
Kingsbury got some balls. Kingsbury got some balls thinking.
Well, he's getting paid 20 mil, Gravy. He's getting paid 20 mil by the Cardinals, so he's like, hey, if y'all not gonna give me what I want, I'm getting paid 20 mil. So I'm gonna take my talent to Washington where they have the number 2 pick and they get the QB that I want. You know what I mean? So
no matter what, I think there has to be something more to it than just the 2-year deal bullshit or all that shit. There just has to be more to it.
Oh, there's definitely more to it. It's probably behind the scenes. It's probably has something to do with possibly getting a top QB in the draft because the Raiders are at 13. The Raiders are at 13, and he's going to go interview with the team that's picking at number 2. So
that's why I'm saying
I think he wants to be with Caleb.
That's what made me think they were scrambling though, because he wasn't their first pick though. And was he? And then with the hiring of who was the name that you said earlier? Van Pelt. He was also another finalist supposedly, in the guy to get the job this week. So that's another guy who got hired right after the Kingsbury thing. And
no,
was he even their
we heard Van Pelt, not to cut you off, but we heard Van Pelt earlier that day. We heard it earlier that day. So we're like, oh man, that's one of the guys the Raiders interviewed. And then right after you said
that's
what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, was Getsy even their second choice? Even that's what I'm saying. Could he even been their second choice?
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I'm like, look, that's why the Kingsbury situation is so bad is because they thought it was official. They probably told Van Pelt like, hey, thanks, but no thanks. You can go on. Like we've moved on to, that's pretty common. Jobs will tell you like, hey, look, we're moving on to another candidate. And they went with Kingsbury, and then Van Pelt the same day. Van Pelt went to the Patriots, and obviously the Raiders had to fall back to Lou Getsy, a guy that they interviewed early on. They said they were high on him, but at the end of the day, he wasn't the first choice. We all know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even saying Van Pelt is anything, OJ. I'm not Omar. I'm not even saying that's not anything like that. I'm trying to even prove or anything like that. I'm not saying that Van Pelt was the guy either or anything like that. What I'm just trying to say is that's the only thing that at the end of the day was that's what kind of worries me was he was never really their first choice to begin with. So that's what kind of worries me. He can turn out to be the in the future be the right guy. You know what I mean? That's totally still to be that's still to be debated about. We could debate about it now, till the sun comes up, but he's still gonna have to prove it, next year. But it's hopefully he proves me wrong. To be honest, that's what
he's gonna do better than Bo. He's gonna do better than Bo.
As of right now, I just hopefully he proves me wrong because I'm just very, just it's a very eyebrow raising fucking move. So it's we'll see how it pans out. But
to be fair about Bo, it wasn't his offense. He didn't have a whole off season to prepare and be the OC. He took over as a QB coach, never been a play caller, and he took over an offense that was dead in the water. It was dead. The offense in itself was broken, and it couldn't be solved within the time that they had. It couldn't be solved within the season. But the reason why we're going away from Bo is because It's a smart move. Let's get away from the McDaniels regime. Like, let's move on. Let's let AP pick his guy. And look, this is a huge hire for AP. It's a huge hire. When you're that rah leader of men, head coach, you got to have that. You have to have a good coaching staff around you. Look at a John Harbaugh. Look at a Jim Harbaugh. You know what I mean? Those guys do a really good job by putting guys around them to do the X's and O's for them while they lead the team. And AP, I feel like, is in that type of mode. I'm not saying he's as good as coach. Time will tell. But what I'm saying is that you got to get these hires right, and Luke Getsy better be the guy. I'm just saying, he better be the guy. And I hope, you know what? Right now, I'm being a pessimist right now because, like, I'm just kind of shocked that, the Kingsbury situation happened, and then we had to fall back to Luke Getsy. But, when it's all said and done, hey, maybe Luke Getsy might be the guy for us. It's just that why do we have to convince ourselves that it's going to work? Oh, yeah, even though he had the worst passing offense in the league, it's going to work with the Raiders. Like,
that's what I was saying. What I'm
saying.
saying.
Like, why do we have to do that? We do that all the time, man, when we know it's right in front of our face. Like, this dude, it could work. Don't get me wrong. It could work. You guys make valid points. Shout out to Raiders Zach. He talked about how, like, and you as well, Gravy, like, Chicago, he didn't have a lot to work with in Chicago. You know what I mean? Maybe we can give him the right pieces for him to be better. And I don't think Justin Fields is automatically going to be traded to the Raiders just because of it didn't work for Luke Getsy. Why would it work? Luke, if anybody will know about Justin Fields, it'll be Luke Getsy. So all he has to do is tell him, like, hey, what do you think of this guy? And if he says, nah, this is not the guy, they're not going to trade him. Easy.
Now,
interesting.
If does this mean we didn't get Kingsbury? And Kingsbury, I knew we were gonna move up. I was always right when we hired him. I go, we're gonna move up and get a quarterback that's for us, for his offense, and he has to be mobile. He has to run RPOs. He has to do this. Now, if Fields is out of the question, because why would you bring the quarterback that the offensive coordinator got fired from? You know, just like you were saying, Farrell, why would you do that? That wouldn't sound right thing to do. Or maybe they're getting ready to do something. Give Fields and the offensive coordinator. Let's do what you did in Chicago with better players. Then it might work out with better weapons and see what happens.
I do feel that we do have better weapons. That's not a doubt. That's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about we have better weapons. But
my question is, if we don't get Fields and we don't move up, what happens then?
Exactly.
I'm not. I like DJ Moore. I like Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
I like some of the running backs they have in Chicago. Mm-hmm. I don't know about their tight end. But, like, I'm trying to think of, like, I'm throwing these names out to you guys.
Komet solid, bro. Solid first down. Solid first down guy.
Tight end, Cole Komet. Yeah.
That's a pretty good offensive tackles, too. You know what I mean? I know that they have.
They weren't bad, bro. They weren't bad. They beat us. I don't care who the coach was. They have physical. I remember that game.
They got some pretty good guards, too. So that's a pretty big money.
They ran the ball up our ass. And that was still Graham's defense. Has nothing to do with McDaniel.
We do have McDaniel as the coach.
Hey, I'll say this, man. I think we can all agree to this to a certain extent. It was a different team under AD. Way different team, way different defense. Compared to the McDaniel coach. McDaniel coach. They play different. Sometimes that matters.
No,
in the matter. Yeah, go ahead.
If we can get better at the defense, right? Say that we could go out on the free agency because I think we're gonna be able to create some more cap room, and we could go out and get dominant on the defense to where we only have to get, like what we were saying before about the defense. Getting incrementally better, you know what I mean? And maybe getting into the top two, just into that. 15 to 20 range type rate. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know what I mean? Because the defense could get dominant. If you could go out and get, there's a lot of defensive tackles
and
that are
and I
going to be in this free agency, to
yeah.
where that's the position that I think is I think the most, not the most glaring, because I think the group of guys that we maybe have had as a collective whole maybe were played solid for throughout the year, but I think getting a true guy that can anchor the middle right there, bro, and maybe open up the game for like Kuntz and Max and even possibly a Tyree, dog. Like I think that right there can make this defense, I think, not only top 10, I think maybe even a top 5 type defense. If you could go out and try to go get a Dexter, I think it's with a Dexter Lawrence or the guy from Miami is gonna be a free agent. I know Leonard Williams is a free agent. I know Chris Jones is gonna be a free agent. There's a bunch of defensive tackles that are gonna be available this offseason. Can you make a bold move and go out and try to go get one of them? You know what I mean? And that could make a make and break for this defense, to where you might not have to have Getsy make be the biggest emphasis of next season. Maybe he just needs to get the offense just a little bit better, and maybe we only got to get a veteran in here or something like that. You know what I mean? If not everything works out in the draft way, like if what they're saying is true, where quarterbacks might go 1, 2, and 3, to where you might have to kind of maybe fall back. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Because I don't know if Bo Nix and Penix are worth like a top 13 pick. You know what I mean? You might have to can you trade back and gain some more picks if somebody's wants to kind of get up there, or do you take the best player available and maybe go second round type of guy, where there's guys who have question marks, like a Jordan Travis, JJ McCarthy, but it's just I don't want to have to like settle for that type of more. I want to get our guy at quarterback. You know what I mean? Like we have to get. It's time for us to fucking swing right. You know what I mean? It's time for us to fucking hit on it. Like I know it's like it's been a bunch of times where we trade up and we don't get our guy, but I think we haven't traded up to get our guy since forever, and I think that's what scares us. You know what I mean? To actually get a quarterback. I think we've traded up to go get guys like, other guys, or even when we've had like top 5 picks, even we get an offensive lineman in Robert Gallery, or a defensive end who we reach on in a Cleveland Farrell, or just like those type of guys. The only type of guy I think we hit in the top 5 is like maybe recent history is maybe a Khalil Mack. You know what I mean? That's the only guy I think I could think of in the actual top 5 that we have actually hit on. But I don't know, man. I think it's time for us to maybe trade up and get our guy. Like I think one of those 3 guys. I think last year there was like I know like Gravy, you say not everybody's CJ, but I just think the potential in this class, like last year there was only actually one guy that might have been shining. Like it was either going to be CJ or Bryce Young in the right situation, and it looks like it was CJ. I mean, there was only really 2 guys last year, and one of them hit. You know what I mean? So it's like this year I think there's multiple guys for a reason, and I just think that you got to go up there and take a chance and go try to get one of them. Or like that, to me, that's like I know how you feel, but like I don't know. That's why that's why we got this show, man. You know what I mean? That's why we fucking we there's opinions, and we'll see fucking what ends up coming to fruition. But it's gonna be interesting.
Dolphins for life must be scared of us already, because he's hoping we get Kirk Cousins. That ain't gonna happen, bro. We ain't gonna roll out. We ain't gonna roll out to Miami where fucking Kirk. You wish we did, but if we roll out there with Justin Fields, you'll be tripping a little bit.
Nah, man. Hey, man, I don't want us to get a high-priced Band-Aid quarterback, man, because that's what
$45 million worth of shit.
Cousin is gonna demand some money coming back from an Achilles injury. That's no joke. That injury, that takes some time to
36 years old.
I don't mind either. Like if like say like we're not gonna get Caleb, right? Because Caleb is how bent on going to go where Cliff Kingsbury's gonna go or whatever like that. Like I don't mind getting either or. Like if that means that Jaden Daniels is that's he's gonna go one or the Bears are gonna go in another direction and that drops them down to 3 and 4. Like I don't care if we have to trade up to 3 or 4 to like, you know, get either or a Drake May or a fucking Jaden Daniels. I think either one of them two are gonna be. I think one of them two with this offense can be good. Either one of them two could be good with this offense. Like you say, like the weapons that we have. Like
Man,
Drake May.
I think that's some bitch. I think that's some bitch stuff right there. I don't want to play with you. I want to play with. I don't play with this. Fuck. No wonder he polishes his fingernails, bro. No wonder he does that shit.
Hey, and
No wonder.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, I seen earlier in the chat people talking about how, you know, Justin Fields doesn't like Luke Getsy. There might be some truth to that. He did criticize the offense earlier in the season, and then eventually, you know, Luke Getsy gets fired from Chicago. He's the scapegoat for that team. So
did you hear Getsy's response? Did you hear Getsy's response?
What's his response? I'm hired.
He wanted to get Fields not to get him hurt and for him to throw the football. Every game, he said every game was different that played against us. He had guys that loaded up the box just for Justin Fields. You know? So he wants to run around and he won't gain no yards because he would get hit. And he's not a big guy in stature, and then he would get hurt. So do your running around to get some guys open and throw the football, and then it just got on Getsy.
But
doesn't
that more point you in the direction of having to trade up? Like, because that eliminates that option kind of right there. Like, because if he already, you know, kind of, you know, criticized Getsy's offense, and you know, Getsy probably might think that about Fields. You know, because Getsy kind of criticized him back about not wanting to throw the ball. So Getsy does not looking like he is going to want to go in that direction either. So that eliminates most likely that option. You know, you don't want to get a guy coming off of an Achilles in a Kirk Cousins, you know, and then I don't want to go Russell Wilson, but I don't know how like this. There's reports about that being because we were one of the original places that he wanted to go to. It's like there's so much shit, dog, like going on. Like there's so much noise. It's crazy, and that's why I think there's the only thing that makes sense to me is if we're gonna go get a quarterback, it's trading up and going to get one of these franchise guys and try to get it, dog. Like try to hit on it. Like you're a rookie you're a rookie coach. Like let's fucking swing big, dog. Let's fucking swing big and hit the and let's fucking bet on fucking, you know, let's bet on black. You know what I mean? Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's bet on black. Let's go get Jaden Daniels.
You're gonna have that quarterback. You're gonna have that quarterback for 5 years, Gabe, but the coach ain't gonna be there more than 1.5 if he doesn't pan out.
Hey, I'm gonna have to do this for you, Gravy.
Gravy, if you go out and get so if you go out and get a Fields and he don't pan out, same thing. If you go out and get this, but if you swing out and go get your guy, at least if you swing and you go out and get your guy, at least you know that you fucking went to go get your guy. You know what I mean? Just like the way that they said about like when we were talking about you know, AP getting the job. Like, you know, the argument was about if they give the job to Harbaugh, once again we're gonna be like, damn, dog, we came from outside the field. They didn't listen to the players. You know what I mean? This and that, and like. You know what I mean? It's like AP was the guy all along, and we didn't go with him. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, man. I think we have to go. I think the guy to go get is just go get Jaden Daniels. Let's go get Jaden Daniels.
If Jaden Daniels don't pan out, how you gonna be thinking about this? Go for the swing or whatever.
It takes two to tango, Gabe. It takes two to tango. You got to be able to convince those top 3 teams that need quarterbacks. All of each of those teams need a quarterback.
But I think the team to target is is the Patriots.
I do,
think
I
the
do,
Patriots,
I do. Yeah, I do too, because they have a lot of holes. Like they're still
yeah,
rebuilding. And if you,
they're trying
if,
But their main thing is that they need a quarterback too.
yep,
yeah, I think they're willing to wait on that to build more of their team because I think they're more in a full rebuild mode. Like I don't
right.
think they're
It starts there, bro. You start there.
I don't think they're a quarterback away. I think that they're willing to get because the way that franchise runs too, like that's why I think that's the team to target because that franchise runs on let's gain more and more like draft picks throughout these years so we can like I think there's gonna be a time to be able to hit for a quarterback or they might want to go in the route they're more like inclined to be like get a guy in the second round like a JJ McCarthy type of guy or one of those type of guy where a system type of quarterbacks like I don't know man I just see that's what I just see something in Patriots as being a target for that kind of a trade up for like
But Gabe, besides their defensive line, when has it panned out for them?
What do you mean?
Them getting all those picks.
Oh, he's talking about all those missed picks at other.
The New England got,
They didn't miss that last year.
They get this reputation of getting all these picks. Tell me one besides on the defensive line that they've been successful at.
Christian Gonzalez last year.
But either way, I just think there's not. It's always a set in stone that
but he got hurt way too early. How do you know he was dope?
He was playing well for him. I mean, I guess you could say that he just played 1 year or less than 1 year. But when he was playing, he played well. Like he looked the part at corner. And we could have drafted him. We could have drafted him. We could have had a guy potentially on the other side and he was locking up fools. Christian Gonzalez was locking up people.
He wasn't a 7th round. He
wasn't a 7th pick. Hey, but the one thing I can guarantee you,
neither was Tyree Wilson either, though.
Like everybody's trying to say that like, it's almost a lock that quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, and 3. I can almost guarantee you that that's not going to happen. Like that, it's always the draft. That's always how the draft works. Though, like whatever you think is like that's almost for sure that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The Bears might fuck around and end up going Marvin Harrison, and then that's going to fuck up everything. And then you never know. The Patriots might end up going offensive tackle at 3. Like it's just, I'm telling you, bro. Like it's always something's going to happen in the draft. Early and early.
But you got 10 more picks. You got 10 more picks to us. And what makes you think that those other teams will get quarterbacks?
But every pick that they drop is less capital that you have to give up to trade up. Every pick that those guys drop that you a guy that you might want, every pick that those guys drop is less capital that you have to give up.
But Gabe, though, let me ask you this though. Like I know you want to trade up, and I wanted to as well. But now with this hire with Luke Getsy, do you still feel the same way? You still want to trade up? Because you're now and even Gravy says, oh, this dude's not gonna last for a year and a half, which means that we were not successful on offense, which means that we're gonna be losing games, which means we're not gonna be recovering from those losing games with high draft picks. We're gonna have to stick with our because we just traded up for the Jaden Daniels, right? Or the whoever in that top 3. And we have to give up. We have to give up. Go ahead.
Gabe's been saying that. Gabe's been saying we should get Jaden Daniels from the get-go.
Yeah, no, and I understand that, but come on, man, with Luke Getsy, I think it kind of changes. It changes a little bit, man. I don't know if I'm as impressed with Luke Getsy.
Well, what are we going to do at quarterback then?
This is what we should do.
There's plenty of quarterbacks.
We should wait and see. We should wait and see what quarterback goes to us. If there is one, we get the best. A need a tackle. Shit, maybe a fucking tight end. Another tight end. Getsy throws tight ends out there. I don't know who it is. That kid. What's his name? That other badass tight end that's out there in the draft. He's gonna be a high pick. That Bowers kid.
Brock Bowers.
I like him, dude. I like him and oh shit. You could go with AOC out there with them two, and that's it. That's all you need.
Man.
Ah,
But
man.
then we build up our defense.
I think
We
Bowers
build our
going to
defense.
Chargers.
We build up our defense to be
I heard the Chargers
legitimate top 3 defense, top 3 Super Bowl defense, and then we have a quarterback that's just like Purdy, that could be a game manager, just chucking it to these dudes and dissecting these guys. That's what's winning. That's what's winning.
AOC's not.
That's what's winning. That's why we got the 2 guys in the Super Bowl. They're winning with defense, and besides Mahomes and their tight end, they get to the Super Bowl.
Hey, but you know what? Hey, look. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Well, why don't we look at the top quarterbacks in the league? Let's say top 5, top 10, and see where they're drafted. For example, the best quarterback that we can all agree with is Patrick Mahomes, right? What pick did he get drafted? He wasn't picked number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. He was picked maybe. Patrick Mahomes might have been number 10.
Yeah, 10 or 12. I think it's 10 or 12.
So let's start with Patrick Mahomes.
Tennessee moved up to get him.
Yeah, it was 10 or 12. I'm just telling you, dog. Like Jaden Daniels, his name came hot like later on in the year to where it came up. So his name could be high on our list, but it probably not high. Like guys evaluate for a long time, so it might other guys that are in the evaluating rooms might not be in as high on their draft board. So I'm just telling you, dog, but he might be that high on AP's draft board. That's why I'm saying, like, if it's gonna make the most sense, I think that's when it's gonna make the most sense. Like, because AP I think has the most background on this guy. Like, he has like Jaden Daniels came on the scene kind of late last year because he was a guy that was being talked about, very, very, very lightly in the beginning of the year, but it was all about Drake May, it was all about Caleb, it was all about those were the guys that were getting picked, and even Bo Nix at the beginning, because those were the 3 guys at the very beginning. Then Penix kind of moved into the thing, and then at the very with his fucking strong run at the end, that's when Jaden Daniels made his run. But I'm just telling you, like, if any guy's going to be the highest on Jaden, it's going to be AP, and I think he's the most inclined to know if he's going to trade up and make that swing to try to go up and get him. But then again, too, like you say, we can't. Then again, too, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna want to be able, like, there's a limit. There's also a limit to what we can also give up. I mean, there's like, we have to be able to be like, okay, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But for sure, like if there's a reasonable, you know what I mean, like almost like if you can like kind of mirror an offer from like previous years and like, try to like maybe.
Well, let's look at a team that recovered from trading up and it didn't work out. Look at the Niners, right? Look at the Niners. The Niners recovered from trading up with Trey Lance, because that didn't work. They traded up to get Trey Lance. They gave up a few first round picks to draft that quarterback. It didn't work out. But if you look at them, they're kind of the exception to the rule, because Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive minds in football. That team is talented up and down, and they were able to recover from that. They're still one of the best teams in football. They're going to the Super Bowl as we speak. So, but if we were to do that, if the Raiders were to do that, and we're talking about how we're not excited about Luke Getsy at OC, and we traded up all those picks, and then Luke Getsy doesn't work out and he needs to be replaced, we don't have a first round pick to recover. We don't have that as talented roster compared to the teams that are in the Super Bowl right now.
And then who's gonna get? And who's gone?
49ers.
AP.
Go ahead.
Then AP is gone if it doesn't pan out.
And that's the question.
If we're not winning,
I think we can set ourselves up for like almost like sabotage. If we're gonna already have Getsy, we got to be able to give him like as much, as a chance to win with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna give him like a guy that's questionable already in our eyes, some of our eyes, right? Like, and then we give him a guy to work with, like AOC, right? Say like that. That's his guy to work with. Then are we really, even giving him a chance? Like that. To be honest, like, oh man, like I think we have to give him the best chance to go win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucked. Because I think that's gonna end up costing not just his job. It's gonna end up costing AP's job.
I don't see nothing wrong with running it down opponent's fucking throat. I don't see nothing wrong with that. It just opens up more shit.
Okay,
running quarterback or not.
We're gonna have to have the quarterback. We're gonna have to have the quarterback one way or another.
So Gabe, so you've been talking about Jaden Daniels. Most likely he's gonna go in the top 3. There's a good chance he's gonna go in the top 3. And if that's the case, you're pretty much saying the Raiders got to trade up top 3 to get their guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe. Like, to be honest, I don't think he's gonna be going in the top 3. That's why that's my belief. That's the reason why. And I think we're gonna end up probably trading up. I think he'll fall not too much, but I think he's gonna end up falling to like maybe 6, 7, and I think we're gonna be able to end up probably maybe trying to get up to one of those positions, though.
I bet you $1. He's probably gonna be the first pick or second.
I don't know, man.
There's boards out there got him number 1 quarterback gone.
Yep.
So you know what I was thinking about this when I posed this question to y'all earlier, looking at the top 10 quarterbacks in the league and where they were drafted. Mahomes was drafted number 10. Josh Allen was drafted number 7. Lamar Jackson was drafted 32nd overall. We know Stafford. I have him in the top 10 QBs in the NFL. We all know he was a number 1 pick in the draft. If somebody argue Jared Goff might be top 10, he was number 1 overall. Joe Burrow, number 1 overall. So the law of average is you. CJ, you got him in top 10 already?
I mean, like, I'm not saying like top 10, but he's already almost on the verge, and you know what I mean. And it's like, and what was he?
Come on, Gabe. Come on, Gabe.
What?
Come on, bro.
On the verge of top 10 right now?
Bro. Nah.
Well, Tua. All right, Tua might be controversial, but he's been productive with the Miami Dolphins. He went number 5. Herbert.
I'm taking CJ over Tua.
I don't like Tua either, but and I feel you. CJ upside is crazy. But let's see another year from him. Justin Herbert, he went number 6. So would you say the average is probably, you got to get into that top 10 to get?
And there's some that are better quarterbacks that fell too. Hurts.
And what the best year this year, like? What a comeback year! A comeback year this year was Baker Mayfield. He was picked number 1 overall.
Hey, Lo, where you at, bro? Pull up.
He's working right now.
He's a DJ.
Hey, next time you go live, just hit me up, bro.
The DJ Mark.
Yeah, hey, tomorrow. Just hit me up. I'll be there. I'll be there for sure.
That's DJ Marky Mark.
he gets mad because no one gets on with he's.
Hey, yeah, Dolphins for life.
I go to
average.
He never told us.
Hey, you know what? And I haven't said it, but shout out to the 120 people that were in the chat earlier. That was cool to see it in the chat.
Yeah, well,
that's what's up, man.
But I want to just know, I haven't been all over the place. I never was moving up and trade all that future because I don't think Telesco is gonna do that, man. His first year, I don't think that he's good. He's not gonna want a first round pick next year or a second round pick next year.
One thing I do
And
feel
it's not like you can't say that you don't care, Gabe, because it means a lot, bro. That means a lot, bro. You can swing for the fences this year.
I said
But
one thing I
it
do know
happened.
is one thing I do know is something is brewing. That's all I know. Something is brewing. Like I'm telling you, though, like like it's something's
You're
gonna
gonna get,
happen.
hey, Gabe, you're gonna get your wish,
One way
bro.
or another.
You're gonna get your wish. The Raiders are gonna trade up. They're gonna trade up. They're gonna trade up because Telesco got the job because he had a plan to get the quarterback in the draft. Like he was the most aggressive. I think everybody thought that Champ was gonna get the job. Remember, everybody was like Champ had the job. AP and Champ, maybe AP and Dodds, and then out of nowhere, Telesco came in, and from what it's reported, he had a solid plan at getting a quarterback in the draft, and he has a track record of drafting. So I'm sure, and Mark Davis went with experience. So I feel like we're gonna trade up. It's just like we have Luke Getsy at OC, and you trust them developing a young QB. You trust this guy.
Yeah, true. But one thing that I always be saying too, like that, I always be like big on what people say and like try to like reading into a little bit. I don't know if sometimes you read into a little bit more than others, but like just like with like the shit like that. I think it was an interview that they had with Aiden O'Connell about you know what I mean, like how he felt about possibly having to battle out for a quarterback next year. I feel like they've already kind of low key told him like, hey, bro, we're gonna bring somebody in that you're gonna have to like battle it out for, and like he already knows. Like I think he low key knows, just like what kind of what he said in that interview about what I mean. Like he already knows that, like what I mean. It's gonna be a battle one way or another in next fall and stuff like that. That he feels comfortable with kind of like taking on that like battle to try to battling it out in training camp for like the starting position and all that stuff. I just think that he knows, and that's why I feel like wholeheartedly that I think something's gonna happen, or like we're gonna be trade up, or like because I think that's a big possibility. Like that's what I want to go to, but I also think that there's also a possibility that they want to go maybe like the Raider way, what I mean, the recent Raider way, where we could kind of fuck it up and end up going a Kirk Cousins or fucking Russell Wilson or something along the lines of that type of shit. Like, so where like I don't think it's the worst idea, but also that's a short-term fix. We're still not fixing our long-term, what I mean, what we want to do, I think, with this franchise. And like that's, to me, get the guy for the future, what I mean. And that's always been since last year and this whole year and all that shit. Like we got to get the guy of the future, and the best way for that is like in recent memory with all of the teams, the Joe Burrows, the the overrated Justin Herbert, the Patrick Mahomes and all of that shit. Like it's the rookie contracts, what I mean, getting them while they're on their rookie contracts, I mean, and building around them, what I mean, while they're on their rookie contracts. So like that's why I'm big on having to trade up, maybe getting the guy that you have to get, what I mean, and maybe biting down on the pill of like maybe losing out on draft picks, but it's time to fucking hit it right, man. That's the only thing that's like I'm just betting on us hitting it right this year. That's my biggest thing. Like that's the biggest thing I'm just trying to push. Like I'm just betting us like that. I think we have the right guy hired at coach to make that decision. I think to be honest, at the end of the day, I think we hired the right guy at GM too, because I think Telesco's track record with the Colts, not only with the Chargers, but with the Colts as well. I think we hired the right guy there too to like that. I think that it kind of makes us, kind of hesitant to want to go and trade up, because of our recent history, of first round picks and all that shit. But I think that if it's ever going to change, I think now is the time. Like we haven't had we've always had these makeshift, like not makeshift GMs. I don't want to say makeshift GMs, but to be honest, it is, like, Mike Mayock, hired off the fucking, from television, you know what I mean? You got fucking, you know what I mean? You got first time ever GM in Ziegler. You got first time ever GM in Reggie McKenzie. You know what I mean? So it's like you got all these first time, GMs and stuff like that. So now you finally get a guy that has, any type of experience. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh man, I think this is the time where if you're ever gonna make a move to trade up, these guys are the right guys to make the move. You know what I mean? I think this is the right guy to make the move for as a GM, and I think that if we are gonna trade up to Jaden Daniels, we also got the right guy for that, because he also knows that if anybody knows him, it's AP.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's why I don't know if that's a perfect match. Then that's why I'm kind of like trying to like when I kind of like was talking big on.
You gotta put it out to the universe, bro. You gotta keep saying it over. Jaden Daniels to the Raiders. Jaden,
so that's why Raiders. We gotta know that this Getsy was AP's decision. He picks his staff.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So it was his decision.
And shout out to All Eyes on G. He actually talks about a recent list of QBs who won a Super Bowl with the team that drafted him. Ben Roethlisberger, round 1, pick 11. Peyton Manning. You also forgot to put Tom Brady in there, 6th round pick. She said Joe Flacco, pick number 24.
You said first rounders though, Phil.
Oh, Joe Flacco
number 24 is in the first round.
Joe Flacco first round.
Okay, All Eyes on G. You might be on one right now, because you said pick 18 Patrick Mahomes. He went number 10 in the 2017 draft. So
yeah, Patrick Mahomes 10. I mean that's low for Patrick Mahomes, but I mean it's still he was still a top 10 pick. I mean top 10, he's 10.
But can you see who moved up to get these guys? Did they give up the farm to get these guys? Besides, and in Kansas City they give up much. I don't know what Kansas City gave up to get Mahomes, but I know it wasn't that much.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that much, but
they had to move up to 10.
But I think, what it made a difference though, like if Kansas City had traded, like maybe the other couple of first rounders, if they still had Patrick Mahomes, like would you still like that's what I'm saying. Like I just think like the right guy is better than all of that.
I would get in front of Denver, no matter what, at any cost. Like unless Denver beats us to the punch and gets the top 3, and they give up the farm, they give up everything the next 10 years. Which good. Go ahead. You can get that top 3 pick with 10 years of first round picks. I'm exaggerating, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. If they give up a huge package that it doesn't even make sense for the Raiders to do, I would, if they don't do that, then at least get ahead of Denver so we can get our guy. There's going to be someone that the Raiders are going to be targeting at that quarterback position. They were just at the Senior Bowl with Michael Penix and Bo Nix. We'll see, as the draft process goes on. You know how it is.
Great. They weren't that. They weren't that.
Mixed bag.
That's why I'm saying, like, it makes, like, if we're going to go quarterback in the first round, it makes no sense to sit at 13. So you're either going to have to trade up, or do you trade back, or do you, or do you take the best player available?
JJ McCarthy.
We don't say that name over here, Farrell.
I'm just saying. It happens he might have an unbelievable combine. Telesco, we don't know.
That was going to be my next question for Gabe. What if Jaden and Daniel flops in the combine?
That means he's doing it on purpose to drop to us. That's all I'm saying.
Jaden Daniels to the Raiders. You got to keep saying it, bro, so it can happen.
I just don't want to trade that much to move up that far.
I feel you. I'm just.
I don't think we're gonna have to trade up into the top 3 though. Baby, watch. I'm telling you, watch. I'm telling you.
Mike G says, has Farrell bought his black Air Forces? Not yet, man. Raiders start 3-0. I'm getting my black Air Forces. They got to start 3-0 though.
We got it. They're at Ross for real cheap. That's what Mike says. In Denver, they're at Ross.
Black Air Forces, so they have to win the division.
Black Air Forces,
they have to win the division for me, and then I'll get some black Air Forces.
Oh, they got to win. They got to win the division. Whoo, okay.
And then we'll get some black Air Forces.
We lose all them picks, and if we move all that way up high, it's gonna be a while till you get some black Air Forces.
Nah, not really, because if we get to give all those picks next year, and we hit on Jaden Daniels, and he just tears it up with his offense.
Okay.
This defense is ready to go. And like you said earlier, we have the offensive weapons. Like, Getsy never had these weapons in Chicago. So if we hit on that quarterback, those picks mean nothing.
Hey, all eyes on you. You're right. I did read it wrong. You're right. You had it listed right. It's just the way it was like written on the message. It just didn't look right. But you're right. Flacco was 18th. But you were saying, hold on, what did he say? He says Brady wasn't a first rounder.
I know he was.
No, but earlier I was talking about like quarterbacks that had success with their teams. Where were they picked? Yeah. Like not just in the first round. If they were successful and they were outside the first round, I would name them. There's a reason why I didn't name Derek Carr.
Like I know. What's his name hasn't won any Super Bowl or even been to a Super Bowl. He's been. I mean, he's won a couple of divisions. He's been. He just can't get over the hump with the fucking Kansas City. But Josh Allen is also another first round. Top pick, first rounder who's a very good quarterback. He just can't get over the hump with the Kansas City Chiefs.
But Josh Allen is doing things. Josh Allen is doing things, and Buffalo didn't give up a bunch of shit to get him.
But I'm not either way though. Like it's just like you have to go get your quarterback one way or another. Like I think it's just like look at what the Rams did. They didn't go and get. They didn't go out and get give up the picks to go get the number one guy in the draft or anything like that. But they just said, I don't give a fuck about like they even had a slogan, the fuck them picks thing. Like, you know what I mean? They said that they don't care. They're gonna go out and get, Matthew Stafford. You know what I mean? It's like no matter how many picks it took to go get him, like they were gonna get him. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't know, man. I just think that at the end of the day, it's who you get, and like we can look back on it and say, oh shit, we gave up so much, but we can look back on it. We could also look back on it. I think, and that's the way I'm looking at it. This is the way I'm looking at it. Like, we could look back at it and say, like, we could be on that same boat. Like, fuck, who cares about them picks? You know what I mean? We never even needed them.
We have to wait till damn near Sunday to get our first pick in 2025. And the draft starts on Thursday.
But if Jaden's balling, then
it'll go by like this. It'll go ding, 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 and it's a Raiders pick. A defensive tackle from North Dakota State.
But it'll feel more comfortable if we're at least doing it with a division title under our belt, right? I'll put my feet up and watch it on Sunday. I mean, like you know what I mean? So it's like that's the thing. That's like that's why I'm saying like that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not trying to look at it like, damn, we're gonna trade up and we're gonna get Jaden Daniels and he's just gonna be a flop. Like I believe in going up and getting Jaden Daniels. I just don't think he's gonna be a flop. Like I don't think he's gonna be a bust.
Who's gonna be a bust?
Jaden.
You think Jaden Daniels is gonna be a bust?
Oh, that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying he's worth it. Like I think at the end of the day we'll end up saying when it's all said and done, like a decade from now, or I think we're gonna be saying like, shit, we didn't fucking. Dave was right. We didn't need them picks.
Hey, go back to Luke Getsy, the OC, right? Was he part of the staff that drafted Justin Fields?
No, Justin Fields on his
third year.
It's gonna be his fourth year. It's gonna be his
fourth year.
Next year will be his fourth year that he has the option.
Okay, so he has that on his side. He didn't choose Justin Fields. He wasn't part of that staff that chose and drafted Justin Fields. So he inherited him or he came into the job with them. So that might be a little bit of, okay, maybe if you get him his guy, it might work out a little bit better than Justin Fields.
That's all I'm saying. And that might be his guy. And if it is, I don't mind, going to have to trade. But I also in honestly, like I also think that he's like the way that he came out, late in last year's, college year where he came on the scene like late, like, he went, he ended up fucking, balling out at the end of the year and fucking getting, I think he ended up, with one game with like 6 touchdowns, or like then the next game 5 touchdowns. Like he had a string of games where he just, dominated. You know what I mean? And it's just because at the beginning of the year was all, Knicks, Caleb, and that was a talk at the beginning of the year. Even they had a bunch of, Harrison talk out there too. But then all of a sudden, Jaden Daniels came out late, and I don't know why that there's always a guy that ends up slipping, and I think his emergence late is going to be, and it's not going to be a big slip. I just think it's going to be enough for us that like it might get him out of the top 5 to where I think that might end up giving us the green light to pull the trigger on trading up, giving enough to trade up for that. Getting out of the top 5, as long as he gets out of the top 5, I think we're golden. I think we could trade up for that, and it won't cost us, like it's still gonna cost us a pretty penny. Don't get me wrong, but it's not gonna, it's way different than having to trade up into the top 5.
Raiders got to do they research. They got to know who's gonna draft who's gonna go where.
I think to be honest, I think Harrison's gonna go. I think that's why they fired Getsy. I think they want to go with Fields in the long run in Chicago.
Their best bet is to get down to number 3, Gabe. Their best bet is to get to number 3, Gabe.
That is the best for sure. That is the best bet. But I honestly think that it's not gonna be 1, 2, 3 quarterback. Somebody's gonna fuck up the order. Somebody's gonna mess up.
But you hear what I said? I said their best bet is to get to top 3, meaning at the very least number 3. And because if the Raiders don't do it, can you see another team doing it in the top 10? Or
maybe
that picks before the Raiders, like a Denver? They're in need of a quarterback. There's been reports that they're talking about making an aggressive move to get to the top.
I thought Peyton was like, I thought his best chance to win was Stidham. Isn't that what he came out to say? Then he came out on the fucking press conference to say that, Stidham gave him their best chance to win and all this bullshit.
Hey, that's what McDaniel said the year before too.
You don't want Stidham no more? Oh shit!
That's what he said. That's what he said with Hoyer too.
Yeah, I thought that
idiot.
I thought that was the fucking reason. Oh, okay.
He talked him out of retirement, Gravy. He talked him out of retirement.
I wasn't crazy when I knew when I thought it was bullshit when he was saying that shit, huh? Like, he lied to everybody's face and fucking was like, he was even fucking mumbling. He was trying to even think about his words when he was saying it. How slow he was. How slow he was in that interview.
But hey, earlier you said that you didn't want like a guy like Russell Wilson to come to the Raiders. But if Russell Wilson comes to the Raiders, he checks a lot of boxes.
Yes, he does. I just don't think he can handle it.
Veteran, and he's gonna be cheap. He's gonna be cheap, bro. He's gonna be cheap.
If we get any speed bumps, can he handle this fan base?
Oh,
it doesn't matter if he can. It doesn't matter if he can, bro. If he wins, we're gonna love the dude.
Wins exactly, but that's why I'm saying. That's why I said that was the first thing I said is like, if things go crazy, if things get any rocky, can he handle this fan base?
It doesn't matter because if we sign him to a cheap contract, it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
No, and that's what I said too. Like it can work, but is that's like a almost like a band-aid because he ain't gonna be here long.
It doesn't mean that. What I'm saying is if we sign him to a cheap deal, that doesn't stop the Raiders from drafting a quarterback. It doesn't stop. If they give him a big contract, then you have to invest in protecting that player with that big contract. But if you sign him to a cheap deal, you're saying he's replaceable.
No,
right?
I wouldn't be getting him on a cheap deal if it's not going to mess up the plan on going possibly gaining the quarterback still of the future. Like but it's to me like I don't know if that's what they're gonna end up doing. If I think they're gonna go one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Please improve that quarterback room. That 2023 Raiders quarterback room was disgusting.
It's worse than a league.
Are you down with Kirk Cousins? Like what DA is saying, he likes Kirk Cousins. Are you down with Kirk?
Hell nah. I don't want no Kirk Cousins. Hell nah. Hey man, I don't want these other quarterbacks, these older. Hey, Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback, but I just don't feel like it's a fit with the Raiders because I like you said, someone mentioned this. I think Gabe, you might have said this earlier. I like a quarterback on a rookie deal so we can build this team the right way. I feel like that is a recipe for success. If you see a lot of teams that have the Super Bowl window, or look, think about it, the Niners, they got Purdy, 7th round pick on a rookie deal. They're in the Super Bowl.
Because you can still get guys. You don't necessarily like say you give up picks for it, right? You still don't necessarily, because with the guy on the first on a rookie deal, you don't have to build through the next year's draft. You could build through your next year's free agency because you're gonna have money available. Because the rookie, the most expensive position you're gonna have under a rookie deal. Yeah, it's gonna be a top 10 deal, which is still like a $7 million, but it's still nothing compared to $50 million a year. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna still be able to build through the free agency because you're gonna have a lot of money available while he's under that rookie contract. So that's the reason why I say like that's the best way to build. And then after, when it's all said and done, you know what I mean, you got guys that, if you end up getting the right quarterback, you got guys that want to take fucking deals because they want to play with that quarterback or they don't want to leave the situation that they're in. You know what I mean?
Bro, you know what works, Gabe? You know what works? A young quarterback with a great defense and a run game, that works. That wins Super Bowls.
Man, and we got the defense. I think now,
if they do it right,
you know what, Pharaoh, I'm with you on that Russell Wilson. I don't know why I'm saying this.
Because
I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm with you on that Russell Wilson.
Hey, before you hear me out. One of the reasons why Russell Wilson to the Raiders would be a great move. Cheap contract, veteran QB, experience, played in the playoffs, played in the big game. You check a whole lot of boxes, and then you bring a young QB and have them like learn under a quarterback like that with that experience. And on top of that, you know what I heard? I heard if because that contract with the Broncos is so bad, obviously if they cut ties, if the next team that signs Russell Wilson to a contract, Denver has to pay out that contract. So it's like a win-win. You take a little hit.
He has a bunch of guarantees that he needs.
He can sign like a fucking $5 million deal or whatever and still get paid $35 million. So he's still gonna get paid $40 million a year or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's, no matter what, he's still gonna get paid no matter in the $40 million range.
That's what I love, man. That's what I love. And guess paying all that money. Guess it's hurting a division opponent in the Denver Broncos.
Like it's not the worst
idea. They're stuck even if they keep him. They're stuck even if he plays. Because they gave up so much for him and they gotta pay him.
Yes.
What I'm saying is like it's not the worst idea, but I'm just saying if it's not gonna mess up with our plan of getting the other our actual quarterback of the future.
Yeah. I'm not saying Russell. I'm not saying we get Russell Wilson and we don't draft the QB. Hell nah. He's 35 years old. He's not going to be the future of anything for the Raiders. We still need to go get a quarterback.
1, 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 years. That'll be good.
2 year max. That's it.
You don't have to give up shit. You got all your picks.
Yeah.
Build up that defense. Get an offensive line going. Maybe another tight end, another receiver. Be straight up. Winning the Super Bowl with Russell Wilson. My God.
Hey man, if
I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know what clicked in my mind saying, you know what? That kind of in a way. I was thinking about it. That's why I was so quiet. I was over here like, I was thinking about it. And I go,
because he's done it.
Makes sense.
You know how he won the Super Bowl? If you want to keep it real, how did he win the Super Bowl with the the Seattle Seahawks. And what was their recipe? Run the ball with Marshawn Lynch and play great defense.
Yeah, but
and Wilson made some plays in the passing game, but it was mostly that defense in that run game. So
do we do that? Do we make that move? Do we make that move quick in free agency and try to go get him, or do we just wait it out because he's probably going to most likely be
Daniels and sign him to say, man, we got to get rid of that. Do we have to? We have to get rid of that GG contract this year. Huh? We have to.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
No matter what, even and we gotta take the bullet too. Like it's a bad contract. So we're gonna have to owe him a little bit of money. And I'm saying we, but it's really the Raiders and Mark Davis. They're gonna owe Jimmy G on that contract. That's how bad that contract is. So
yeah, just get rid of him one way or another. Just get rid of him one way or another.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. We definitely got to get rid of that contract. On top of that, Hunter Renfrow, we got to get rid of that contract.
Go on.
Hey, yeah. Trey Tucker is the future in slot.
What's up, bud? What's up, Cash Lord?
Hell yeah. I think we have a good team out there, though. I think we're going to be able to put a good team. I think it's just the quarterback position. And can we make a move here or there, like in free agency, to like, kind of make us put us over the top on defense. That's what I think. I think that's a good path for us to go. Like, fix the quarterback position one way or another, either like, the Russell Wilson way, like short-term fix one way or another, like, because we could have a short-term window to even win with this type of defense. You know what I mean? Like, how long do we have with Graham and do we have to change, like, and if we have to change coordinators again, does the chemistry stick around, or do we have to, get another year, like another little learning curve with bringing in another guy or something like that? But you know what I mean? But I think we can make a move here or there on the defensive side and get a quarterback, bro, like short-term fits or trade up and get, to me, that the best, option for me is, go get Jaden Daniels. But one way or another, I think, you make those kind of moves, we could have a winning season next year, to where, like, we could be like, damn, dog, we could be in for a big surprise for, I think, next year. I think that's it's gonna go a long way. It's gonna be a cool off season, though. One way or another, it's gonna be a good off season to see, dog.
What do you think about this, Gabe? What do you think about this game? You think all these miracles are going to happen in the draft where Jaden Daniels is going to fall? Yeah. What if we trade up to 9 and take the Bears' other pick? Because they have 2 picks in the first round.
That's true.
Take their 9th pick.
Yeah, but what do we get to get?
They'll be willing and dealing for that one because they
JJ McCarthy. They're going to draft.
Nah, JJ McCarthy first round.
We're trading up to 9. We're not gonna get nothing. We're not gonna get nobody. I think we're gonna have to go.
It's either Chicago's second one, or we have to trade with. We have to trade with Arizona or San Diego, because the Giants are gonna pick a quarterback.
San Diego of the LA Chargers.
I think. One of the two is going to
call them San Diego.
We're going to have to.
We're going to have to go either that. We're going to have to go to 4 if you think something's going to happen with Jaden Daniels. But what if it's Caleb? Or what if it's Drake May? I like Drake May.
No one's talking about Drake May as much as like the other quarterbacks. He's that guy that everybody knows, or not everybody, but like everybody's kind of like, there's a consensus.
He's the white dude.
He's the number 2 QB. Yeah, that might be it too. But shout out to Big Heck. He says the least the Raiders could pay for Russell Wilson would be $1.65 million a year, and he still get his Denver money.
Mm-hmm.
That if we can get Russell Wilson and be like, you know what, guaranteed job for your wife, Sierra, she could perform on the Las Vegas whatever ballroom or whatever. Because you know how them celebrities, singers, and performers, they all go to Vegas and get those deals. it's a win-win for both him and his wife. And sometimes that could be
Well, either way they could get him either way, like for real cheap and not hit on the like say on the salary cap no matter what, because they can sign him on a 1 year proven year, whatever deal like that, right? Because they know like I know that Denver's on the hook for at least 1 or 2 years, right? So they could sign him on a 1 or 2 year deal to where it's like, a guaranteed 10 million, but only but only like 1 million is on the books or something like that type of deal. You know what I mean? Like they can still give him a couple more $1 million just because of his name, but like they can still make it guaranteed to where, you know what I mean? It's like it's still not hurting our salary cap one way or another.
And I bet you Russell Wilson was humbled from his experience with Denver, and he wants to win, and he wants a little payback.
Got a chip on his shoulders.
Got a
Perfect
chip
quarterback.
Everybody's doubting him, including the Denver Broncos. Who
we're talking Russell Wilson? That's what I'm saying. I can't believe we're talking Russell Wilson right now.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't sound like a. Think about it, Gabe. It doesn't sound like a bad idea. And get not.
No, don't get me wrong. It doesn't. I'm just saying. I can't believe we're talking
not. And it would be. We would have to pay. Wilson will be on his. Fields will be on his rookie contract. But with Fields over 2 years, there's going to be a lot of money. He's going to be in that 40 million, 45 million range, whatever a quarterback gets now. But Wilson will be steady. Wilson will be steady, low money. He's gonna get what 3? He's gonna get 3 years of the big ass money from Denver.
He says, "I don't trust Sierra to sing the national anthem at the Vegas Aces game."
No way, bro.
Hey, all I'm saying, man, it's a win-win for the Raiders, bro. It's a win-win. And they still draft a QB. We still got a QB that we can slowly incorporate. Hey, if he wins the job outright, I'm not mad at that either. But since we invested so little in Russell Wilson, we be like, all right, Russell Wilson, we tried, we try to make it work, but good luck, or stay with the team as a backup.
Now I can't see Fields coming to us with Getsy there.
They don't have to.
No, I was on Fields. I was on Fields since last year, Farrell. Since last year. Let's go get Justin Fields.
This is what I like most about the Getsy hire. That there was already talks about this guy. Like at the first couple hours when the Kingsbury kind of went through, this was the guy's name that kind of popped up, that kind of emerged, that maybe was going to get the job. And I'm glad he didn't get the job. As long as he didn't get the job, I mean, to be honest, that's the best news of the day. But like, I'm still skeptical. I'm still gonna be skeptical on the Getsy, but until like I kind of prove it type of thing. Like hopefully I do. It's one of those situations where fuck yeah, like I'm glad to eat my words. You know what I mean? But I'm the one thing I am happy about is it's not Chip. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, I didn't like when the Chip news came out, man. I was like, oh, please. I just didn't.
I
don't think he's that bad of an offensive minded coach. I just didn't like.
I wouldn't mind it. The people don't know him. People don't know what he does.
UCLA though. I feel like he.
But his coaching style, like when like it got figured out in the NFL, like, his coaching style is college. His coaching style is college. You know what I mean?
It wasn't ready with the NFL, just like Kingsbury. Nobody knows, like I said about Kingsbury.
It worked at the beginning. Chip Kelly's offense.
His players didn't like it.
After a while, they didn't like the tempo. They didn't like that shit. Like, nah, we're not gonna be running this college shit. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, that's why I'm saying, like, I didn't want Chip here though.
They didn't mind when they were 12-4, right? The first year he did it.
That was the first year, and then after that, slowly but surely it went downhill.
Yeah, because those players, Deshaun Jackson, he had those dudes. He had a dude like Deshaun Jackson.
He signed Deshaun Foster, right? Too.
He's a coach. He's a running back coach.
Yeah, he's a running backs coach now. I remember him. He tore it up at UCLA. I remember. I hated him because he was a UCLA. He was a Bruin, but yeah, he was a damn good running back. That's for sure. Sean
He's a
Foster
pretty
was a
good
good running
pro.
back.
He's a
Go
pretty
Carolina.
good pro.
He
Go
was with
Carolina.
Carolina, and I think he played for the Niners too.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I know, but he was
But that's when
really good at
he
UCLA.
was a head coach. Head coaching wise, and it happens all the time. We've seen it ourselves. Chip Kelly wasn't a head coach, but as
To,
far as offensive philosophy, offensive mind, he's great.
to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be Chip Kelly because they said it was down to Chip Kelly and Kingsbury. He had 2 interviews. Chip Kelly had 2 interviews that we didn't know about. We just found out this week that the Raiders might be connected to Chip Kelly. And then when Kingsbury got hired, they said they interviewed Chip Kelly twice.
I just don't like Chip Kelly. I don't like his offense. I don't like. I'd rather have Getsy, to be honest. I'd rather have Getsy at the
He did inherit a talented Eagles roster, and then he made it worse.
That's why he went 11-4 the first year.
Yeah,
and he had dudes like Michael Vick, on his second stick.
Yep.
He had Deshaun. He had Meacham. All these fast ass players, which he gets you speed, and it just wears the defense up. By the fourth quarter, those guys are dead tired, and that's how he gets you.
He traded away Deshaun. And he still was good back then too. He still was good.
Yeah, he was dope back then. But he was a head case. He was always a head case everywhere he went, even us.
It worked for Andy Reid.
Andy Reid got fired. Andy Reid was fired, and Chip took him over.
Yeah, but I think Andy Reid. How long did he coach with the Eagles? He coached for a long time. He coached for a good amount of time.
About 5 years, something like that.
5 years. Hold up. Nah, Andy Reid. What? It was more than 5 years. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up.
Didn't he go to 4 straight?
Donovan McNabb, the McNabb era, Kevin Cole. He had Jesse Garcia at quarterback.
Didn't he go to straight 4 NFC titles?
Blake, you said 12 years? Let's see.
He coached for Philly for 12 years. Yeah, I think I got my numbers mixed up. He coached there for more than a decade.
Yeah, he was there for a minute. So it was just one of those situations where it was time to change of scenery. And hey, man, it's working in Kansas City. Sadly, you know what I'm saying. It's just like, damn.
Sadly,
man, that's why we're all in this Bienemy. Really didn't. Besides Sam Howell, and Sam Howell to me would have been a quarterback with any offensive coordinator unless they really sucked. You know what I mean? Sam Howell's a good quarterback, but Bienemy didn't really change anything. That lets me know that without Andy Reid, who is Bienemy, and then why is Bienemy not still there if he's that good?
Hey. But Kansas City's last 2 they've had their best defenses under these last couple Andy Reid's teams, but their offenses hasn't been as good as when Bienemy was there.
Yep.
Well, their defense sucked too.
Yeah,
the year before their offense. Yeah, because and it's funny, we have a good comparison because the year before Bienemy was there with basically the same type of players. And Chiefs offense looked way better with the dude that left to the Patriots, Shoemaster or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
From the
Bienemy's offense was good.
You said it again?
I said Bienemy's offense was pretty good because their offense hasn't ranked as high. With them, Kubiak, you're right there too. You are right there too. They did have Tyreek Hill, but he also didn't have Tyreek Hill his last year there. You know what I mean? So it's like, and his offense still looked good. You know what I mean? With Juju Smith-Schuster. You know what I mean? So it's like,
no, the thing is, forget Schuster. He has Mahomes. Dude. That'll make any offensive coordinator good.
But this year,
that tells you how bad the offense is with Mahomes.
This year they've been carried by their defense.
Yep.
Mostly. Like this playoff run, for sure. I mean, Mahomes and Kelsey have been on a different level.
Yeah,
but
they turned it on.
But their defense has carried them most of the year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because they've been up and down team. Like at one point, they were even like, you know, like I think with 2 games left or 3 games left, we still even had a chance to win the division.
Think about it. Think about it. At Christmas game, we scored 2 defensive touchdowns, right? What was the final score? 17. It was like 17.
No, our defense, our offense didn't play good. Any of those games. The best game we played on offense was
our offense was terrible. I guess that's a terrible example because our offense is bad, but they still dominated us. Their defense. This is probably the best Kansas City defense that I've seen, like in a while. Like I've never seen a defense.
Sure.
It's been a while.
Pretty good. They have one of the best pass rushers in the league. That's
why I say,
well, they have the best they have one of the best tackles in the league.
Chris Jones is a free agent.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. If we get Chris Jones in free agency, I don't give a shit what we do with the draft. I don't care what we do with the draft. I don't care.
Saying,
well, Max Crosby and Coots.
Gravy, put it this way. Gravy, if we get Chris Jones, are you worried about giving the next 3 first rounders, the next 3 first rounders, next 3 second rounders, if we're gonna get a guy like a Jaden Daniels? If we're gonna have that type of defense, we could swing and miss. And
I told you, it doesn't matter who plays. Your defense will hold them. Any quarterback that's out there.
If we get a Chris Jones, we could swing and miss with whatever quarterback we have, and we'll still have a dominant enough defense to where we're still going to be getting in the playoffs just with that.
But Chris Jones isn't a risk, bro, unless he gets hurt.
I know. That's why I'm saying.
A rookie quarterback is a risk. A rookie quarterback is a risk.
The guy from the Dolphins, dog?
It is a risk.
Who's the guy from? I think it's
I'll take him. I'll take their whole defense from him. I'll take him and Snead.
No, I'll even take a
give him all the money.
I'll take Leonard Williams, dog. I'll even take a big cat. I'll take a big cat and Leonard Williams, dog. Like that's a guy who could also, you know. He had his best.
All you need is somebody to get the ball to the guys. That's all you need. A game manager.
But can we get both Snead and Chris Jones? They would be commanding a lot of money. Corners.
Somebody up there starting will get cut. I'll tell you that. If you have the opportunity to get both.
No,
it'll be somebody. There'll be somebody.
I'll take Chris Jones. If Chris Jones is the guy available, I'm taking Chris Jones. Without a doubt, that will take this defense to a whole different level. You know what I mean? Because now we have inside pressure. Inside pressure. We have. You said it again.
I like Leonard Williams.
Don't say that Leonard Williams is better than Jones.
He's not. He's not.
He's a good player.
He's cheaper and he's very, very good. And he's gonna be a lot cheaper, and I think that will be end us. That will still keep us in like, you know, contention for like maybe going out and go get a corner like a Jalen Johnson. You know what I mean? A top corner.
What college did Leonard Williams go to?
Hey Gabe, he's Plan B, right? He's Plan B.
One and only. Yeah, the one and only.
That's why he loves him so much.
The one and only.
That's why he loves Leonard Williams so much.
Oh, USC.
And he's younger. And he's younger. It's just like I don't know, man. Has he ever showed like that he's not good or whatever? Like I think Leonard Williams, he's been a beast in this league enough to be where I think he could like he's better than anybody that we've had in recent memory. So like I still think it's still not a Chris Jones for sure.
He might be cheaper. He might be cheaper.
Leonard Williams is a Raider fan. He grew up a Raider fan. He probably still is a Raider. He's still a Raider fan. He wanted to get drafted by the Raiders. He grew up a Raider fan. So there is a Raider connection, but I think he's Plan B. If Chris Jones is at the door, you weaken a divisional opponent because that's their player. You're taking him away. He knows the team. He knows the division. He's played against them. Chris Jones, man, come on now. But I'll say this too. Leonard Williams does have that Patrick Graham connection too. He did coach him.
Yeah, exactly. He played his best year under Patrick Williams.
Yep. Cash Lord Raider. Yeah, yep. Leonard Williams already knows Graham's system. Fit right in. Yep. He's gonna. I think the way he uses them.
Okay, being that he's younger, but I don't like him because he's from USC. But how many times?
I'm not
how
saying
many times has the dude? How many opportunities that Leonard Williams had to come to the Raiders, and we didn't do nothing to get him?
But then again, too, though, like exactly, we haven't had the coaching staff or whatever to want to get him.
Traded. How many times have you been traded?
Yeah, but like we haven't. He also has to be like teams have to want to give up what they want to give up to go get him. You know what I mean? And we haven't had the opportunity to do it. Now he's a free agent. He could choose to want to come here. You know, we have a chance to go. We have a chance to go out again. I think I think that's gonna be. But we will see it. I think there's enough guys out there though at that position to where I think if we could even add any of those top 3 guys, where it's Wilkins, you know, Leonard Williams, Chris Jones, any of those 3 guys is going to have us in the running for, you know, like we can't go wrong with any of them 3. That's my one thing I will say. If we could get any of those top 3 guys that are in the DT, you know, free agent list, something like that, as of right now, that they're set to hit the market, but you know, it's still to be seen that if they're giving teams, even let them hit free agency, they can negotiate with them before, and you know, just give them, you know, extend their contracts. But you know, the thing is, you know, if any of those 3 guys, if all those 3 guys are set to hit it, and we could snatch any one of them up, I think we can't go wrong.
I'm saying if we get Chris Jones, I don't care how many picks we give up to get a quarterback.
Chris Jones and Leonard Williams are both 29 years old.
And how old? Chris,
who's the better player? Who's the better player?
Chris Jones.
Hands down.
Yeah. How old is Christian Wilkins?
29. They're both 29.
Well, Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins, let me look that up.
That dude's a beast too. That dude's good too.
From the Dolphins?
Yeah. He's a free agent as well.
Oh, my bad.
That's another guy who's like, I think he's kind of young too. I think he's
28. He's 28, bro. Chris Jones, man.
We can't go wrong with any one of them 3 guys.
But the only thing is though, he's 29, and you're gonna give him a big ass contract. It is a risk. It is risky because
that'll change. That right there will change your defense drastically.
Yeah, I'm doing it for sure. Let's do it.
Give up 5 years of number 1 pick and get Jaden Daniels in.
Well, Telesco pull the trigger.
I think it makes. I think it's like what makes the most sense for the money and who you're getting. Like it's like with any of them 3, who you get at the right price. That's what's gonna matter. Like but you can't go wrong if we get any of them in the building. I think that's any one of them 3 guys is going to put this defense into like the top 5 category type shit. Like I think that because that defensive line will be dominant. I think that will end up like. I think that will make things easy for fucking, you know, because I think what's his name's not gonna face no double teams. You know, I think it's gonna be
scary. That's
scary. If you put Tyree in the middle of Max and like a Chris Jones, can you imagine that shit? He's gonna probably sometimes be even unblocked because there's gonna be a double on Max and a double on Chris Jones. So sometimes he's gonna either be going 1-on-1 with the guard, like. I'm just saying, like, and then Kuntz, like, bro, just like that defensive line is gonna be very dominant if you can get any of one of those guys. That it's just gonna make your DBs better because it's gonna have, you know, quarterbacks getting rid of the ball faster, you know, causing probably more tip balls, more just like it's just gonna be fun to see, a fun defense to see. If you can get a guy like that on this defense.
I got
first day of free agency, the Raiders pick up Chris Jones. Shit, I'll go ape shit. I'll be happy than a motherfucker. Dude. I'll call in sick to work, Gabe. I'll call in sick. I play hooky.
shout out to hold on 1 second. I don't know why that's not working, but shout out to Dolphins for life, man. He pointed someone out that's also D tackle in free agency that we're not talking about.
Who?
And that's Justin Matabuke.
Oh, from the Ravens.
From the Ravens, had 13 sacks at D tackle.
Yeah.
And let's see how if they don't franchise him, he went to his first Pro Bowl this year, for whatever that's worth.
13 sacks as a defensive tackle. That's pretty fucking good, though.
Yeah,
that's fucking amazing.
Exactly.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Let me see.
But he ain't Chris Jones.
Yeah, because Chris Jones is like he's probably used a lot.
He's 26 years old, bro. Justin Matabuke is 26 years old, had 13 sacks with the Ravens this year.
Another guy that's a free. There's so many defensive action, and then there's a lot of defensive ends. But yeah, and once to say like they say, you can never have enough. Like you can never have enough fucking defensive ends, or defensive tackle, just defensive fucking lineman. Period. And there's gonna be
Ravens won't give a dude like that that young.
No, but there's Brian Burns.
Yeah, gonna be that's true. They might franchise him.
And Brian Burns, what I like about Brian Burns, like trying to pick up a guy like that, is that's a dude that can also play like an outside linebacker type position too. Like Brian Burns is a very fucking versatile type of fucking guy. Like,
hey man, let's just sign from within, man. Sign Kuntz. Sign him now before it gets expensive. Sign him now, bro. But you know who's gonna have insight on Kuntz? Champ Kelly, who's still with the team, which is a big, very big for a guy like Telesco, who's trying to learn the roster, trying to know the players on the roster. Hey man, extend Kuntz. Get that deal done before it becomes expensive. He had 8 sacks under AP as head coach. Imagine what he's gonna do with a full season. You know what? The biggest thing for me is seeing this defense grow next year. I want to see it go to another level. You know, that's
I think if Bennett could blossom, we won't be talking about getting another corner, putting Hobbs at corner. You know what I mean? If we kept Hobbs in the slot, we'll be straight up. But Bennett has to improve or go out and get somebody in free agency.
I tell you, Bennett will blossom. Bennett will blossom if we get Chris Jones. All our DBs are gonna blossom.
Mm-hmm. You'll make them look good.
Because
I'm cool with our safeties, bro. I'm cool with our safety. I'm cool with Amps and Moring back there.
Hey,
nothing wrong with that.
Cash Lord says when Tyree Wilson has 15 sacks next year at D tackle, shut everyone up. Can't wait. Hey man, if he has 15 sacks, I'm happy.
I'm super happy.
Come on, Cash Lord.
I am good.
I was good.
Come on, bro. Then again, here we go, switching this guy's position in 1 year. He sounded like Cleveland Farrell.
But did you hear what Patrick Graham said about it though? He feels like it's a good move to give to a young pass rusher, especially learning how to use his hands. So that's why he moved him to D tackle, and then he's not giving him. He's not going to give up from going from the outside, but he's trying to develop him as a player. So I think there's a chance that Tyree he did not look 100% this year. No. He did not look 100. He looked hurt, bro.
It wasn't 100%.
He was not close to being 100%, and it's crazy that the Raiders drafted him.
Exactly. Crazy.
That's crazy.
Bum ass crazy.
That's crazy. But you know what? From what it was reported, he wasn't the first option, he wasn't the second option, and he wasn't the third option. All the players that the Raiders wanted to draft got taken. You remember when the Cardinals traded up above the Raiders to get that tackle because they thought the Raiders were going to take Paris Johnson, I think, that offensive tackle that got drafted the last draft. So the Raiders kind of like, I don't know if they panicked, but they just went for in their minds, the next best thing. But it is what it is, man. I hope Tyree kills it next season.
Yep.
I hope so too. I hope he proves me long because I've been talking shit on him ever since he was picked.
I wasn't very excited when they first got him, but you know what I mean. Like I also think that like he was picked where like he wasn't supposed to be picked, but at the end of the day, I think he showed a lot more potential towards the end of the season, especially when McDaniels finally got fired. And I just think that at the beginning of the season, like we I think we all agree that like you guys both agreed right now that he never looked 100%. And I think getting a whole off season, with under his belt, especially with strength and conditioning guys, from the NFL level and shit like that, with Deuce Gruden, what I mean, getting a year with Deuce Gruden, what I mean, in the off season, fucking I think we're gonna get him like what I mean, especially not coming off the surgery. I think this season will, especially I think because our defense is just gonna get better. So I think that he's gonna be able to kind of like he's gonna kind of benefit off of that. You know what I mean? I think, and that's what's gonna make it kind of easier for him next year too. Like, especially being healthy. So I think I don't know, man. I think we're gonna make a big move in free one way or another in free agency. I think we're gonna make a move to get a guy like that in free agency, and then I don't know, man. I think the sky's the limit for Tyree. I think for the whole defense. I think for the whole defense, it's gonna be crazy next year. I think our defense is gonna be one of those dominant defense. I think we've seen the transformation this year to I think it continues next year, especially the biggest news too. Like that I think we kind of didn't even talk about, a lot of people didn't really talk about this week. Like, kind of like them solidifying that Patrick Graham staying. You know what I mean? There's no more talk because like, the guy getting hired in Seattle and all that stuff. So, no more talks about him getting hired anywhere else as a head coach. So he's staying, you know what I mean? So I think that's a big thing because, just the talk of him possibly leaving was big time, though, because like that defense, finally came into his own last year. And, I mean, Max was talking about, kind of like always going the change and shit like that, kind of wearing on players and shit like that. Like, the changing of coaching staffs and all of that shit. So that would have been big, for the defense, for like the growth of the defense. So that was big news this week, keeping Patrick Graham, put here for at least another year. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a big year for this defense. It's just more chemistry, chemistry, and it's already good.
Hey, just thinking about free agency. That which is going to come out, which is going to be in a month, I think, less than a month, in March. I think the Raiders should definitely address the trenches, and then I already told y'all, sign Russell Wilson to a cheap ass deal, and then get your quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
Get your quarterback in the draft. Hey man, I just feel like there can be a way the Raiders can be. There can't.
They could have, dude. Danny Dalton's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Hey man,
I still whoop his ass at a 40, bro. I whoop Dalton at a 40.
Cool Kev, man.
I'm sorry, Farrell. You know what, Farrell? And this is one of the few times I agree with you doing that Wilson thing. I'm kind of off. Gabe, I'm kind of getting off that Fields because I don't think he's going to want to come here with Getsy. That's the only reason. I was on Fields, just get Fields all the time. I didn't want to move up.
He got fired. He got fired because he didn't work with Fields.
And that's why I believe that that the firing of Getsy and all of that shit, I think the Chicago is ready to keep Fields. That I don't think they're gonna end up trading him. They're gonna keep their one pick. Keep a guy like kind of draft a guy like a Marvin Harrison, who everybody thinks is a can't miss, prospect. You know what I mean? I think and a deserving number one pick. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody's gonna be a number one pick at a receiver, it might as well be him. You know what I mean? So I think that that's what I think might end up, could drop a possible Jaden Daniels to a 4 or 5 type of deal. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that's the Bears. I think are gonna do something like that. I think the firing of Agetzi and like I think that was kind of like their and staying with the Eberflus is because I think that you know what I mean they're gonna end up staying with the Fields and drafting. They have a whole different plan for the draft probably.
Yeah, man, and it.
Yes, or they could still a quarterback could still go one because they could also be enticed to trade that pick for a team that wants to go up there and actually get their quarterback, like you said earlier. You know what I mean? So a quarterback could still go number one, and the Bears could still trade back. You know what I mean? But I also think the Bears are gonna probably stick with Fields, and I just think
I
that
think
they have
you'll
a
be
different.
hearing about it. But I think you'll be hearing about it by now, bro.
We know for a fact that the Commanders are going to get a quarterback. We know that for a fact. Like I think they go quarterback. The wild card is the Bears, and some people might say wild card is only the Patriots. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because the Patriots, like I said, they have a lot of holes. They got a lot of holes, and they're gonna want to like fulfill those holes by by getting the right players. You know what I'm saying? And how they do that is getting draft picks.
We got to turn it back with the hell.
Okay.
And then we're saying that there's rumblings around there that Telesco he's in love with Bo Nix.
Bo Nix didn't play bad today though.
Today he didn't, but the first day he played terrible.
And Penix didn't play, right?
The first practice he was all over the place.
Yeah, he was all over the place. But I mean, Spencer Rattler,
both of them were
quarterback today.
Both of them were.
Spencer Rattler was the best quarterback out there today. Like at the Senior Bowl, when you look at it and you really look at the film, I mean, Milton was terrible. You know what I mean? Milton was awful. I mean, I've been sitting back watching you guys a little bit because I had to put little man to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually interrupted my show. So it ended a little early. So I figured I'd catch y'all. I know y'all was talking about the defense just a few minutes ago.
Right.
I'm actually happy with the defense. I mean, I'm not a guy that brag or anything like that, but before the season even started, I said that this could be quite possibly a top 15 defense, right? Like I thought that what I saw could quite possibly work out. Now, I didn't take into consideration the trade for Jack Jones or getting the Jack Jones in the middle. I didn't foresee anything like that. I just figured like if this defense was really allowed to play like it was designed and how Patrick Graham really wanted, it could easily be a top 15 defense. It doesn't have to be star-studded people all the time. You really just need people who are going to be in the right position, who have the mindset to continuously play, the game like it's supposed to be played. Violent, smart, physical, you know what I mean? And with aggression and nonstop. Like, we might not have the greatest guys, but as we keep continuously saying, it's not an individual sport. It's a team sport. So if this guy can do something really well and this guy can do something really well, if I can put those two things together and make them work on the field, then I'm doing my job. As a defensive coordinator, I'm doing my job. Right? Like it doesn't require if you go and look at the Super Bowl teams, there's not a superstar at every level of the positions. You know what I mean? There's not a superstar there. There's one or two guys, maybe three on that team that are actual superstars. Everybody else are role players, bit players. I think we have a couple of superstars. We have some guys on the verge of superstardom. You know what I mean? It just depends on which way the pendulum decides to swing for these guys. But I mean, I believe we have some guys on the uptick of being superstars. But now it's just like, can you tweak something here? Can you tweak something there? Like, what what do you need on the defense? You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm looking at offense. Like I'm feeling like with a ninth ranked defense, top 10, right? They were ranked ninth overall at the end of the season. If you go get an offensive line, and a nice quarterback, you could be a hell of a team to be trying to play against. Like that will strike fear into people. I mean, it's a top 10 defense. If you tweak your offense to get anywhere in the top 15, that creates a problem.
But I think what we were talking about earlier, we're talking about like what would take this defense to another level, and Chris Jones would take this defense to another level.
I wouldn't say no to a Chris Jones. I wouldn't say no, but at what value do you place that? And is that more of a need than your offensive line?
You need a defensive tackle, a good one.
I won't argue that it would be nice to add a solidified defensive tackle, but is it more of a pressing need to get the defensive tackle or an offensive line? Now remember, your whole right side is free agencies, from the center all the way out to the tackle are free agents. Do you bring them back, or do you try to find something better? Either way it goes, you need that money.
And we get a game changer like Chris Jones. We could take a risk in the later rounds this year with, and we got. I think that was quarterback play and calling, and we got drops.
Yeah, I think it was
dropped a lot of footballs.
I think it was a lot of things that all came together to make that offense not work.
And we have Mumford. We got Paul Ham doing good.
By a quarterback, the inability to play consistent good football up front. They would play it sparingly, but not consistent enough to say, "Oh, that offensive line was good." They were okay. They had some flashy moments. They had some really good games. But if we're looking at a season overall, I wouldn't say that they were a good offensive line. I wouldn't.
No, the offense can get better just like the defense can get better. But what's closer, the defense or the offense? Now, if you're telling me that you can make some key moves in free agency and the draft, and it will take our defense from being good to elite, would you do it?
Is top 10 not elite?
I'll say top 5, top 3, top 5.
I can agree with top 5, but top 10 has got to be damn good.
It's good. It's good. Definitely good.
And to be inside the top 10,
we have a dominant defense. We have a dominant defense, which the teams really, really good defense, like the Super Bowl, that's in the Super Bowl right now. You know, your quarterback play don't have to be as good as what everybody's saying. Give up all these picks to go get this number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if your defense is that solid, all you would need is like a game manager type guy, because we have the weapons. We have the weapons for a game manager type guy that can move around out the pocket just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit of mobility. That's all we need.
He's got to have some time.
He's got to have some time. But okay, if you give if the other guys don't score, and then you pin them back, and you at least do something, at least be a little bit accurate, execute more, don't drop the football, and just protect in a way. I'm not saying we keep the same guys. People are going to move around every year, but the importance of that, draft-wise and free agent-wise, isn't more necessary than having a dominant defense and running the football, than it would be throwing the ball around like we wanted Aiden to do. We asked too much from Aiden as far as passing the ball.
Yeah.
Than we should have been doing.
I mean, if I'm going to look at something on defense, it's probably going to be defensive back. I'm probably looking at a solidified corner,
That's
especially
what he
if
upgrades.
Meek's not coming back. You know what I mean? If Meek's not coming back, I'm looking for another corner. You know,
Ain't nobody gonna pick up a meat, dude.
I
what he
wouldn't
wants.
say that, bro. I wouldn't
He's
say
not a
that.
Not at a
starting. He's not a
not at a
starting. Would you say he's
not
a
at a
starting corner?
I think he's a starting corner.
I don't think he's a starting corner. He's like a good number 3, 4 corner on a team.
He's a number 2, but that's still a starter.
I like Amik though. It's not like I don't like Amik. I like him, but I feel like he's more of a quality depth player.
I think he gets better every year.
You can say he got better for sure. He got better.
He gets better with us. He's a Raider player.
I know
He goes
he's
to
a
another
better
team.
player, but I'm just saying, if there's
won't
a
get the same
team,
result.
if there's a team that is desperate enough to throw him a little bit more money than we can, and we have to replace it, that would be a bigger need to me than the defensive tackle. Because we're already thin at corner. You know what I mean? We have the rookie Bennett, but we don't know what he can do yet.
Right.
Nate Hobbs cannot play the outside. We know that. He's an inside guy. You know what I mean? And then you
But
have
we don't.
Jack Jones. I mean,
But we don't have
what do we have after
any. We don't have any defensive pressure.
that? So I'm just saying, what do we have after that, though?
Hey, so would you get the top corner or would you take the top pass rush and D tackle?
I'm taking the top.
I'm taking D tackle.
I'm taking the top.
You can have an average. You can have an average. You can have an average cornerback. You can have an average cornerback.
Actually, I think
you have an average quarterback and a dominant defensive line. That defensive line will make that average cornerback look like an all-pro. But if you have a,
I don't know.
But if you have a dominant corner with a suck ass defensive line, that top notch corner is going to get more work and he's going to get burnt one way or another.
But our D line
something bad's going to happen.
That's the thing. But our D line doesn't suck.
They may make it better than what it is
out there, but they don't suck. You can't suck and be the 9th ranked defense overall at the end of the season. You can't.
No, I don't think so. I don't think either way.
They stepped up at the end of the season when AP. They concentrated on that.
No,
I don't mean none of those guys are game-changing type defensive tackles.
I think they were just allowed to play ball.
Okay.
I think they were allowed to play ball. I think when McDum was here, I think everybody was cuffed, even that coaching staff. I think
you could get a guy. Well, you could get a guy that's talented enough to whoever the head coach is or whoever the defensive coach is. He's just badass, and he gets sacks and he pressures the quarterback all the time. You can have a Bilal Nichols there. You can have guys put Tyree Wilson there or whatever. That corner is going to look better when you have pressure on a quarterback.
I think
but if
we
you
just
don't,
saw it, Gravy, where we had games where our defense was playing phenomenal and our offense couldn't do shit with a supposedly above average quarterback.
No, but I also think it depends on the caliber of the free agent that it is that this year. Like the top players this year happen to be defensive tackles. Like if it happened to be in a year where, like say like if you had a guy like Sauce Gardner as the top corner coming out and like at the same time as Chris Jones was a free agent, and you had those two guys coming, then it would be, I think, a closer decision. But I think the mere fact that the top corner this year is Jalen Johnson, or if you want to go the top corner that's going to get paid around the same money because you know how it is. Like next guy in line is going to get paid that top dollar. So do you want to go pay the top dollar? Do you want to go pay the top dollar for a Jalen Johnson at corner, or do you want to go pay the top dollar for all like a Chris Jones at defensive tackle or something like that? I think if it was if it was an even like matchup to where like this year had like a same type of class of free agents for corners as there was for defensive tackles, then maybe it would be more of an argument. But I think there's just so many more defensive tackles that you might be able to get one of those guys, and the corner, the top corner might not, you know, you might have to pay him a lot of money, and it might not be at the same level as a, you know, a Sauce Gardner or somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Give me the
There was
better
a
player.
guy like that. There was a guy like that would we could get. Then do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
Then
I'm
do
saying.
it.
Like, if
I'll
it was
take
all
that.
easy,
Give me the better player. Who if the better player is at D tackle, I want the D tackle. If the better player is at corner, I want the corner, because I do see a need at corner, especially that number 1 spot. Because Jack Jones,
What corner's better than Chris Jones? He probably could play that too. Shit.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Chris Jones might be the best player available in free agency.
and that's why I'm saying, like, if you could go out and get that guy, like, if that's what I'm saying, if you could go out and pay the same money, and you could go get out and it's free agent, you know, Sauce Gardner, then fuck yeah, go out again with Patrick Surtain. Like, even though I don't like the dude, but he's a good corner.
So here's your top 5. Here's your top 5 corners in the draft this year. Cooper DeJean.
In the draft or no, I'm talking about the like free agency.
We're talking free agent, but
I was just saying, if you had to grab one in the draft, you didn't get one in free agency. Like, if you were in the draft, you got Cooper
free agency,
DeJean,
yeah. I don't think
Nate Wiggins from Clemson, Tyron Arnold from Alabama, Kool-Aid from Alabama, and Ennis Rekestar Jr. from Missouri. Those are your top 5 corners. Cooper is ranked 8th on the big board, 13th for Wiggins, 16th for Tyron, 19th for Kool-Aid, and 27th for Ennis.
So Kool-Aid is around our, like, not around our range, but I mean, it would, like, in his ranking, it would be like a reach if they were get him at 13. But
that boy out of Iowa sick though.
Yeah.
Looking at corners, bro. When I'm looking at corners, bro, that dude, he can do it all, bro. He play inside, outside. He play outside great, bro. He's a great outside corner. You know what I mean? He remind me of a young Jason Sehorn.
Jason Sehorn, dirty. Come on, dude.
Jason Sehorn played good football for a long time, bro.
Then you're saying this Dijon guy's good. Just good.
I'm saying this Iowa boy.
Dude.
He reminds me of Jason Sehorn coming out of college, bro. Yeah, he does.
Oh my God.
But he is a high prospect. He is a high prospect. The guy coming out of Iowa, he's like
he's got to be better than Jason Sehorn. You could come up with a better guy than that. There's better guys than Jason Sehorn, bro. You could come up with better than that.
If the Raiders if the Raiders weren't picking quarterbacks,
that might be better than Jason Sehorn, but he was a safety.
If the Raiders weren't,
he could probably cover better than Sehorn.
If the Raiders weren't picking a quarterback in the first round, what position would they target on this team?
Offensive tackle.
I agree.
Or guard or tackle.
Yeah, the interior guy, one or the other.
No,
I wouldn't even be shocked if they went for
in the first round. A guard in the first round.
At the way that we were blocking last year, hell yeah, shit. We
can get a good one in third round. We can get a good one in third round.
If you get Justin Fields, you need to draft the greatest right guard or right tackle of all times in ever history.
Right tackle. I agree. Right tackle or corner.
Yeah, if you get Justin Fields, you need to go get you a right tackle, like the greatest.
Wait a minute. What about this? What about this 6'9", 380-pound monster we got on the side?
I like the confidence that what's his name he showed in Mumford last year at the end of the year.
Mumford's good. I like Mumford. I like Parham too.
I think guards we could probably go like, you don't really. I don't think unless he's like a really, really, really good guard like in college. I think those guys you could probably get second, third round. But like
as far as like left-handed,
I think as far as the first round, like but we still got Colton. No, you ready to give up on Colton?
I'm saying Justin Fields is left-handed.
What I mean is, but you don't think
His
Mumford
blind
can,
side switches. His blind side switches, and that's why I say you got to go get the greatest right tackle
That's
to ever
left.
play. He's
I
a
don't know. I just
left-handed. He's a left-handed quarterback. His
don't think he's
blind
gonna go out
side
and get
switches.
Fields. No.
Well, we
So-
came
But I
up
don't
with
know.
the scenario, Dirty. I don't know if you heard
I
about
feel
this.
you. I like Mumford. But
No,
do I
have a
think he could play the blind side
Talavera. We
tackle?
talking about that idea we came up with.
I don't think
What?
we're gonna get. I don't think we're gonna get Fields with like we kind of were talking about, because the whole Getsy thing, like him getting fired from Chicago, and like them talking, like them kind of actually going against each other, like at the beginning of the year, where Fields was talking about the offense, and then Getsy was talking about he changed the offense because he didn't want him to run as much, or no, he didn't want him to run as much, that he was holding on to the ball too much and running too much. So like that kind of like almost like, I don't know if it for sure crosses it out, but like kind of like if they're like kind of like a writing on the wall of like they're not too fond of each other. You know what I mean? So it's like to put it in,
The article that I read gave.
He's right-handed. We good.
Fields is
Hold on.
right-handed.
He told Justin Fields, you got to throw the ball a little bit, dude. You got to throw it. And then Fields told him in quotes, "Well, call the plays right, then I'll do that." So that started it right off the get-go.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if he would want to, like, I don't know if that's like already a thing that, like, if anybody's gonna know, Getsy's gonna know, right? Like, he worked with them last year, so he's gonna know if like, okay, that's not the guy, or he is. So we're gonna know that right away, and then we'll see. Right, that starts next month, right? Free agency is already in March. So next month,
Justin Fields right-handed.
Only left-handed
Yeah.
quarterback in the NFL.
No,
He's
yeah.
right-handed.
Justin Fields is right-handed.
Yeah,
Justin Fields is right-handed.
my fault.
He could be that.
I be wrong.
He could be-
I be wrong. Shit. I got no
Tua is the
issue
only
with that.
left-handed.
He probably
Tua's
rolls his dice left-handed, bro. He rolls his dice left-handed.
Hey,
Only
look,
left-handed.
I be wrong. I get shit mixed up. That's all right.
Penix will be the second left-handed quarterback in the NFL if he gets drafted. Well, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get drafted. So he'll be like the only the second one right now, because there's only
Active. What? He's the only starting left-handed quarterback.
Tua.
It's just Tua.
Yeah, Tua's the only left-handed. It's who else?
Tua's the only left-handed QB in the NFL. Nah, let me look that up.
I don't think so.
Who else?
That's a.
It doesn't really matter.
It's rare. Like the last one was what, Michael Vick and Tim Tebow.
Michael Vick was the last good one.
Yeah, boy, no, but even the last like left-handers, like what, Mark Brunell, Steve Young. You can name like the left-handed quarterbacks in history, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't many.
The backup for Seattle was left-handed too. So it's two quarterbacks in the NFL that are left-handed right now. Tua and Holton Allers for Seattle.
Oh shit!
Two active quarterbacks in the NFL that are left-handed.
That's it. Yeah, there's not many.
Damn, out of 36 QBs in the Hall of Fame, only 2 were left-handed.
One of them is ours, no? Or was it us?
One is Steve Young, and one is, you already know, Kenny the Snake Stabler.
And yeah, one of us us, one of us ours, and one of us the Niners go.
Yep. Well, that's
But
the Hall
yeah,
of
man.
Fame.
We've been in here for fucking 3 hours. Damn, I didn't even know we were on here for 3 hours.
I got a cut.
Yeah, I mean,
It's about
shit.
that time.
It wasn't. But Mark Brunell's not Hall of Fame though.
No, but he was left-handed. Him, Michael Vick.
Not Hall of Fame. Michael Vick is Hall of Fame. No, ain't he? Shouldn't he be?
He might not. He might not
I
be
don't
this
think-
because he might not get voted in for a while because of the dog shit. You know what I mean? Because you know, even though like they say that only the on field shit matters, but like we all know that that's not true. So like,
Hey, he was one of my favorite players in the NFL though. For sure.
Yeah, they'll always hold that against them for sure. Which I love dogs, so like I understand. You know what I mean? I understand people who fucking take that shit to heart, but and all in all, like I mean, if they do for some players, they do say like when they do vote them in and they use the argument is like, oh well, they have the numbers, like then let's have that across the board, right? Like let's have that shit.
Those are the only other 2 football jerseys I own that are non-Raider jerseys. My Atlanta Falcons Vic and my Eagles Vic. Well, I was a big Vic fan. I wanted him to actually come to the Raiders.
Greatest Madden player of all time right there is Michael Vick at QB.
Who's the greatest football fucking player on like a video game of all time? Him or Bo Jackson on Tech Mobile?
I mean, like, come on, that's a totally different game. You were on
Tech Mobile was cheap.
That was a touchdown with Bo Jackson every time.
Hey, but almost
run back to the end zone.
But if you really knew how to like use Michael Vick, it was almost a touchdown every time you.
Yeah, it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown. It was
almost a touchdown every time with Michael Vick too, because he was so much faster than every other player on Madden.
Man, and as a player too, like the things that he would do on the football field, it was like he was just playground football. Like he was just freestyling.
Michael Vick changed the game of football.
Man, and he had a crazy arm too. Crazy arm.
Yeah. Like, do you remember that Eagles game when he came back? Monday Night Football against the Washington Redskins.
Oh my God! Oh
no way was Christian Okoye better than Bo Jackson.
That throw he had to Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's almost as worse as what Dirty said about his Seahorn shit.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Better than Bo Jackson
in Tecmo Bowl? No way, bro. No way.
He wasn't anything. He wasn't good at it. He wasn't better than Bo Jackson at anything.
In Tecmo Bowl, he was a good player to use in Tecmo Bowl because I don't know, like he was a high rated player, but nobody was better than Bo.
Steve Atwater would beg to differ.
Bo Jackson, all you needed to do was
Atwater ended his career. He woke that nigga up from the nightmare, bro. He woke that nigga up from his nightmare.
You couldn't really tackle Bo in the middle, and then as soon as you took it to the outside, no other little Tecmo Bowl guy could catch him, so he was gone.
Is Steve Atwater in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, he has to be. Steve Atwater has to be, dog.
Steve Atwater has to be in the Hall of Fame.
Man, there's a lot of guys who should be in the Hall of Fame, but they're not. But that's neither here nor there.
He was inducted in 2020.
All right.
Yeah,
that's good.
That fool was that dude could hit, dog. That dude was like,
I hated him.
Yeah,
I loved him and I hated him.
Fuck,
I mean, I loved him as a defensive back. I hated him as a fucking
that's when safeties used to be safety.
That was hella honest right there for sure.
Bro.
Who was the last type of safety
like him?
About
Mahomes and Kelsey and the Chiefs? Like I hate
Ed Reed. Ed Reed's
the greatest safety for me. Greatest safety for me.
Who was the last safety? Brian Atwater wasn't really.
Brian Dawkins.
Who was the last safety? Like the last safety like Atwater though was like I would say because like a guy that could hit because Atwater wasn't a big cover guy either though.
Lynch.
Yeah, what safety could play in today's game?
Like Atwater was more like a Lynch. Atwater was
getting abused in coverage. Lynch would
get abused. That's what I'm saying. Atwater was more like a Lynch. I would say like a guy who could play in this sort of defense is a
Ed Reed.
Yeah, him and
Brian Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins for sure.
Sean Taylor.
You think Palomalu could play in today's NFL?
Sean Taylor.
Palomalu could. Palomalu could.
Yeah, his instincts was crazy. Paloma's
Yeah.
instincts was
Sean
crazy.
Taylor.
He
Sean
wasn't.
Taylor could play in this defense in this day and age. Sean Taylor could play in any day and age.
Sean Taylor could have played in the
Woodson-
70s and
Woodson
80s,
can play
bro.
corner, and then
You
he
could
could
tell
Rod
he's gonna be an
Woodson
all-time
play
great player.
corner in
Charles
this,
Woodson. Charles Woodson.
I don't
could play
think-
in this.
If it was up to me, dude, I don't
yeah.
think Lynch belongs
would.
in the Hall of
corner.
Fame.
He was a
Yeah.
corner.
Let-
and
let-
a safety.
I don't
Ronnie
think
but
Lynch
he
belongs in
could
the Hall of
play,
Fame.
play either one. He'll lock you up either one. He want him to line up at safety. He want him to line up at corner. Which one? All pro at either one.
I'll put
Which
Rod
one you
Woodson in
want?
there too. Rod Woodson.
Ronnie
there.
Lott could play. Ronnie Lott could play today.
Ooh.
Ronnie Lott could play
Yeah.
today.
Because
Maybe.
but what was like the biggest part of Ronnie Lott's game though was he was a hitter.
He
And in
hit you.
today's NFL, you can't hit the way you used
But
to back in the day.
He was always in position to hit because he could cover.
Because you had to go through the middle. You had to go through the middle to do a crossing. You'd be out the NFL. They made it so easy for the receivers to do it now.
There was one dude. He had a great couple of years, but he had his shoulders were bad, dog, for the Colts. Dude played for the Colts.
Oh, Bob Sanders.
Bob Sanders, dog. Like he was good.
He was nice.
Eric Berry too. Eric Berry was a nice safety too.
With the Chiefs, yeah. I hated him too. I hated him too.
I hated him
He
too.
got- like he was fucking
Low
good.
key, I was a
You
little happy.
guys are
with
forgetting. You
his
guys are
career a
forgetting
little
the
early. I was a
honey
little happy with
badger. You're forgetting the honey badger, and you're forgetting Abrams. Man, come on, dude.
Yeah, but
Are you
but
serious?
Honey Badger wasn't.
The,
I don't think
the hardest hit Abrams did was hitting that damn TV stand he got.
That
He
camera.
got busted his head on that. We got injury reserve for that.
That didn't hit the
Oh,
camera on in an empty stadium, nigga. How did you hit the
Ooh,
camera in an
gravy.
empty stadium, bro? Like,
first game of the season too. First game of his
Damn.
career.
But what were they thinking by putting that shit right in front of the football field? Like,
It wasn't in front. It was on the sideline like it always is. He
he was
just
on the sideline where it's supposed to be.
he was out of control, man.
Yeah, Abram. He had talent, but it's just like you can see how fast he was. And I remember probably one of his best plays he ever made as Raider was when he made that hit on Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That was one of his best plays, like that he ever did. I mean,
That's terrible.
that's
Hey,
and,
that-
You got hurt on that one too.
Hey, bro,
It ain't
I
that
don't
bad.
like.
He's in the NFL.
I fucking
He broke
can't
his collarbone on that one. He was over there in interviews with this thing like this, with the little bar hanging right here. Remember? He had McCaffrey stuck him. He stuck McCaffrey, but McCaffrey got the bet out of it.
I can't stand the Niners, but that dude, McCaffrey is one bad dude, dog. That dude is different type of football.
Shut your mouth back.
He one
he's a
bad
monster.
white dude.
He
That's a
can't cover.
bad
Abrams'
man.
biggest weakness is he can't cover. You remember when he got mossed by a running back? That was so
Yeah,
embarrassing.
Twice. It was the
McCaffrey's a
same
different
game.
breed. Like I used to think that there was a closeness to like from him and any other back. Like, nah, there's no comparison from. He's the best back in football by far.
Michael Huff a bust.
McCaffrey.
Right now, yeah.
McCaffrey is the best back in football by far, dog. Like
Best back in
If he could-
football.
He could do anything. He could do everything.
Yeah, he's like
Catch.
the Niners MVP. He's the Niners MVP. Like he's the best player on that
Bro.
team.
And
Yeah.
then he's doing it in the playoffs. To be doing it in the playoffs as well, like that shit. He ain't like the knock on him before was like he would get injured, and
But
like and he
He's
would
playing
do
the
it
most,
in
for the most perfect team, though. He's playing for the most perfect team.
like you see him
Kyle
like even
Shanahan,
doing it, it's like,
They
Bro,
run the
the fuck-
ball.
but you see him even break the way he's breaking tackles, like
Ooh.
just getting through shit. Like
He
that
ain't,
dude is.
he ain't got a lot of years ahead of him, though, bro. He's gonna get worn down. He's gonna get that offense. He take a beating. He's taking a beating out there, though. Taking a beating. He goes home fucking bumped up, I bet.
Dude is good though, man.
Hey,
But if you
don't
take
they're trying to.
He's that good. He's that good to where if you take away two guys, if you take away Debo or McCaffrey away from the 49ers, they lose games.
I see
They
y'all
lose
trying to talk
football
about
games.
everything but Getsy. I ain't mad at y'all. I get it. Fucking Dolphins for life, fucking asshole.
Hey, just give us some time, bro. Just give us some time, man. It's
Let us
I had
sink
to-
in, dog. Let us sink in, bro.
I had to think
Shit.
about it, bro. I had to think about it, man.
The Giants do. Vic Fangio didn't want to play for you no more.
It could be
I did-
worse.
You want to cook.
Exactly. That's what
How
I
the
was
hell
saying
you
earlier.
get rid of? How the hell you get rid of Vic Fangio,
Let's have
bro?
both.
What Vic Fangio's not good anymore because he ain't with the Dolphins. He sucks.
No, but I mean, we could have still Bo. We could be worse. We could still have Bo hard degree and like still running the same shit. So like, Getsy does have some fucking experience as the actual offensive coordinator. So we'll see what he has. Like when we do have better weapons.
Cool kid. Look, Getty, Vic Fangio, same thing.
I missed that drop, Loco Sick. I missed that drop, bro. And yeah, my size sell out quick, bro. I get mad at that shit, bro. If I don't order in the first 10 minutes, I ain't getting them. My size sell out quick.
Oh no, every fucking like on that sneaker app, they do that shit on purpose, dog. Like they do that shit for like that's bullshit. Man.
Even straight through Nike, when you go through sneakers, bro, like a size 12, it's like going to the store, bro. It is hard to find a 12.
The sneakers app is through the Nike, but it's through like it's for like all the drops, the Jordan drops and shit. And like on that app, it's like, bro, it's hit or miss. It's literally like random. It's not like if you're first in line or anything. Like it's random. It picks you at random. See who fucking gets it. Like just bullshit, dog. Like I don't even try that shit no more.
I had to get up at 6:30 to get the Jordan 11 Gratitude.
I don't even try that shit no more. Because you try and you never even get in, or the site crashes and all that bullshit.
But I had to get up at 6:30 in the morning to get them.
But the
resales are crazy too.
I don't resell my shoes. I wear them. I'm a sneakerhead. I wear my shit.
Yeah, I don't wear.
I don't put my shit in the closet just to collect fucking dust and take pictures of them and show people I got them. No, I put them on my feet and you see them. Hey, look, that's like buying a car and putting it in the garage and just paying the note on it every month. But fucking drive the car. What's the purpose?
Some people collect. Some people collect shoes. But I feel you though. I feel you, Greg.
It don't make no sense. Price tag on shoes, bro. Like I said, it's like putting a car in the garage and never driving it.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. The resale sometimes is like fuck, man. They make it so hard for everybody else to get shoes, so it's like it kind of pisses me off. But I mean, to each their own. They're making money. Fuck it, you know what I mean?
Man, I go to the Nike outlet, bro. I wait and I go to the Nike outlet for all the shit that everybody else didn't want. I get, bro, and I buy it for damn near nothing. Like I said, I got them Jordan reverse breads for fucking $24. Jordan ones.
You could resell it for more.
I could, but I wear them.
Two o'clock in the morning, we start fucking like sending people in the chat.
I bought my son some 6 rings. I bought one of my sons some 6 rings, size 12, when he was wearing them, but he didn't wear them often. He a sneakerhead too. He collect. They sit on the shit. You know what I mean? But he outgrew them. He ended up being a 13. He couldn't fit them, bro. He wore them like maybe once. Problem, my dude, what's good with you? He wore them once, bro. And he outgrew them, and I was like, yeah, let me get them off the shelf, bro. Go ahead. Slide them to pops, bro, because yeah, that's a lot of money right there to just be sitting, bro. Give me them. I'm gonna wear those there.
Some people collect cars too. People collect cars. They collect everything, man.
That's my issue. My wife's
collecting.
I collect cars for some reason. I collect cars. I got too many cars.
I got a fucking
Broken Hollow. Hugh's gonna be the offensive assistant. It's official.
I think it's gonna. I know.
I can. Hey, if that's the case, bro, that makes me feel better.
Marvin Lewis is gonna be the assistant head coach.
Yeah, it makes me feel better. I feel better about the offense.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
The
see.
only thing is, it has been a while since we've seen Hugh at OC in the NFL.
Yeah, but we have Getsy at least. I mean, they might level each other out.
Hey, look, I like the way the staff is shaping up, though. I mean, you know what I mean? If you look at it, let me pull it up real quick. Because I like the new additions to the staff.
Patrick Graham coming back is huge.
Yeah, that's the biggest part. I think that's the biggest thing. Fuck it, fucking. Gotta fucking.
Yeah, man, but it's getting close about that time.
For real. We'll pull out that right now, and then we'll see right now. We'll pull up that fucking the staff, and then we'll fucking call it fucking night.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, Raiders. I like some of the guys. They got Deshaun. I think we talked about it earlier. We said Deshaun Foster, running back coach.
Ricky Manning Jr. backs coach.
Yeah,
which I like. He was a fucking
And I think a lot of the guys from last year are coming back too.
We kept Edgar Bennett as our wide receivers coach.
Yeah, is it official? They officially announced he's coming back, or
I think that that's the guy that's kind of has like ties too with Getsy as well, right? And with Getsy in Green Bay.
I think Getsy was a wide receiver coach for Devontae Adams in Green Bay, and I think what's his name coached him too, Edgar Bennett as well.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's where they have their ties. So like I think Getsy and Bennett, I think they already have ties together. So I think they're like, I think he's him as the offensive coordinator. I think I think Edgar Bennett will have a job there. You know what I mean? I think they'll end up retaining him for sure.
Yeah. And
I think they would have fired him with the rest of the staff. That when they let the rest of the staff go, they would have ended up letting them go. Is what too. I think keeping him on board kind of said that he was kind of here to stay. And
you know who I'm interested to see is O-line coach.
We haven't got a linebackers coach, but we still got we still do got AP. So
Rob Leonard is coming back too, D-line coach.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember Andre Carter. Now I remember him for the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Problem TV. I like that. Yeah, I like that, man. I'm feeling a little better now. He said Getsy was QB coach for Aaron Rodgers' MVP years.
Oh shit.
Like I said, it's 50-50 with me, man. You have to show and prove with me. I don't see anything that jumps off the page that tells me rah shish boom bah. But at the same time, we're seeing how AP ran his team last year, right? We're just taking into accountability about how AP ran his team last year, right? How the team was before he took over to how it was when the season
5 members right now,
right? So if you can run a team that's not yours like that, I gotta have some faith in the choices that you're making now when you are being given the reins to call the shots, right? Like we asked for AP to be in the building, right? We trusted that if AP came in, AP was going to do the right thing, right? So now all of a sudden, because we're getting an OC that's not ringing bells,
Steve Madden's in the building.
Fire, now we're like, oh, what is it? Well, you know what? I had to think about it. I'm guilty of overreacting. I'm guilty of it. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? But if Tom Telesco, which I question his calls and coaching. I do. But if AP thinks it works, I question Telesco after the shit show that just happened with the Chargers, and he had a good roster. That coach made that team terrible, as well as injuries. Made that team terrible.
Right.
You know what I mean? I still think they should have kept Lynn. I think Lynn was on a better uptick than this last coach. Staley, was that his name?
Yeah.
Staley? Yeah. Lynn was way better than Staley. I think that was a bad decision to let Lynn go.
They stuck for Staley for like what, 4 years?
4 years.
He stuck up
bad.
the job.
Man,
4 years out of football.
it's terrible.
Stuck up the job. You know what I mean? And couldn't beat us at home. And I honestly was shocked that they let him keep his job after getting boo-bapped by the Jaguars in the playoffs when you were up.
I thought he was gonna get fired after that.
I thought that was it. I honestly thought that was it. I really don't understand how he got another season.
Yeah.
Because any other coach would have been fired after that, bro. You was up 30. You lost. In the second half, you lost the game.
Yeah, 27-0.
Bro.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Yeah. And then losing to the Raiders in the fucking final game.
Getting
and then
beat
just everything like all of
I
that
think
shit.
I think that was just it right there. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
Was,
you can tell
like
the players
never in our history have we ever, you know what I mean, for either team put up 63
and not just that,
or allowed 63.
Even like them talking about earlier that in that week when he was like, yeah, well, you at least don't see us getting blown out, and then they get blown out. It was kind of like
Hey, let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this. Do you think that the Raiders should have let McDaniels coach a few more games before giving it to AP, or do you think that you know where I'm going with this? You know where I'm going with this.
I felt like they should have fired him weeks before.
If he was fired at the right time, or they should have fired him later in the season.
I think they should have fired him at least 3 weeks before that.
That would have been bold.
I think they should have fired him 3. Honestly, you know me, bro. I felt like he shouldn't have even been the coach this season at all, from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like I saw the locker room in turmoil. I saw this team starting to just look like trash, bro. Like literally, you could see the deflation in the team, right? You could see it, and at that point in time, it's like, man, I mean, what do you bro? He lost games.
It was getting embarrassing at that point too, because like the noise coming from even the fans. The players like just getting frustrated. You could tell in the press conferences, like, the owner getting yelled at. Like it was like
before that.
It was well past due. It was well past due, and like it was just like at that point it was just almost like a fucking it was a fucking explosion that just was waiting to happen, and it finally had happened, dog. Like it just. At that point, they couldn't wait anymore. You know what I mean?
I called it the Chargers game,
and especially the loss to like the Bears, and then after that who was it right after that too? We lost 2 in a row to where like we lost the Bears.
Lost to the Lions. The Lions.
Oh yeah,
he got fired after that. Yeah, man. Hey, the reason why I bring that up, the other side to it is that if he were to be let go later in the season, the Raiders would have a higher draft pick.
Yeah, but just
easier road to get your franchise QB.
I'd rather have more wins.
Nah, but not just that. Like he was already at his like. I don't know how he made it that far, but like he was already at this. I think he
should have been fired
made
after
it.
the first season.
Yeah,
I think we would have lost a lot of players within that time too, bro. Because from my understanding, there were some players on the trade block. You know what I mean? Before they were fired, and had they remained, those players would have been traded, like Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs.
Oh man, that I don't think that would have been vetoed.
That's why they did lose their job, because those players were on the trading blocks.
It did
those
get
players were on the trading blocks.
If that, hey man, if that's true, then that it got vetoed. We know that for sure. That wasn't gonna go through.
Any one of them players being traded, bro, it's like, nah, bro. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and relieve y'all of y'all duties, bro. We will not be making any trades. You know what I mean? We're actually firing people.
I do think though that when AP did take over, there was a good thing though, because if like it would have been a hard game to start off with the Lions, because the Lions are a pretty good team. So like I think he did get to start off a good, like it got a good. He ended up getting a little good, start off. It didn't, like, it wasn't a big challenge his first game off the bat. So, he kind of got the struggling teams and the New York teams where, kind of got a little chance to like build, himself up a little bit, because I don't know, man, the first game being against the Lions would have been kind of bad, but I think it was just a perfect. It was just at the end of the day, it was a perfect scenario, and at the end of the day, I think everything's fucking turns out the way it does, dog, for a reason. And I just think that's gonna end up being, we're gonna end up getting our guy, man. But fuck, man, that shit. It's over 3.5 hours already. I'm fucking beat, man. I'm fucking done. I've been up. Yeah, I'm fucking out. Fucking.
That was a good show, though.
Man, yeah, thank you guys for fucking showing up, man. Fucking fucking it's fucking now, what, about 2:00 in the morning and shit. So yeah, man. Thanks you guys for showing up, man. And fucking smoke hours and shit like that, 3.5 hours. But we're gonna be on
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're gonna be on tomorrow again on RaiderNationLive, though. I think it's a Sunday night show. Yeah, we'll be on again. It's almost, it'll probably be on that channel. But yeah, man, I think you guys, I think we'll be on, like, I think it's like at 8. Yeah, we'll be on at 8. But for sure, man. Yeah, man. Again, thanks for everybody too in the chat.
Toes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're good. Thanks for everybody in the chat too. Fucking D Menace, man. He fucking gifted out five memberships today, man. So fucking everybody who got one of those memberships. So fucking hey, shout out to you guys, man. Fucking D Menace. Thanks for that shit, man.
Salute D Menace.
Yeah, man, gave out 5 memberships. That's cool as fuck, man. And yeah, man, everybody on your way out, hit the like button. You know what I mean? And in the comments, man, just drop a comment. See, anything you guys might want to fucking see on the show or whatever like that. Or anything that you guys think that might make the show better or whatever. Just leave a comment in the comment section. After the show. Not just the live chat is cool and all of that shit. Much appreciated. But yeah, just leave a comment, man. And yeah, hit the like button on the way out, man. And on that note, man, shit, yeah, man, fucking again, man. Dirty, you going live? You guys going live tomorrow or anything like that?
I'll be live tomorrow night. You guys are going at 8?
Yeah, we'll be done by then. We go usually like an hour and a half. Fucking those, yeah. So now we don't go have to.
I'll be tomorrow night.
We'll probably be like literally done right after. So we'll fucking should be go over there. You know what I mean? And Pharaoh, you have anything going on? Fucking any shows going on?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be going live on Monday at 8. Monday at 8. Go check out Pharaoh NFL, PHAROAH NFL. Yeah, come through, y'all. It's gonna be a good conversation. Salute to everybody in the chat. Man, great show. I know Raider Nation right now is like, man, Luke Getsy, what's going on with the Raiders? But we know what we gonna. Hey, you're gonna watch a game. Don't try to act like you ain't gonna watch the game, the draft. You know what I mean? Free agency's coming around the corner. Y'all about to be paying attention. Stop acting like y'all not gonna pay attention.
You just gotta wait and see what they do.
Exactly.
Fucking all lies. Look at this guy. Fucking guy. He with the jokes. Tell me what the jokes. All this live meeting was up. This guy.
Man.
Wow.
But hey, man, fucking for sure, man. Hey, fucking, we're gonna keep this shit going, man. We're gonna keep this off season fucking rolling, man. We're gonna keep dropping the content, man, to make this off season go by quick as possible, man. So yeah, man. Hopefully, guys, we keep the subscribers
hit
up,
those thumbs, man. Hit those thumbs. Make sure to hit the like button. And let me ask, for a comment. Let me ask y'all. Make sure immediately after the live, man, answer this question. Do you agree with the Getsy move? Do you agree with the Getsy move? And let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with the move? Do you feel like we should have went with another offensive coordinator? What quarterback can we get with a Luke Getsy? Let us know, man. Hey, I know I'll be reading the comments. I know I read the comment. I read all the comments, and I reply. And my guy Gabe does the same thing. So
I may not reply. I like because I like the comments I like, but I see every comment that comes in.
Facts.
Oh yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I'll be interactive with that shit too. I'll be coming on that. So yeah, leave a comment for sure. Leave a comment for sure. And on that note, yeah, man, we out, man, for sure, man. Stay up and have a great rest of the Sunday. You know, enjoy your guys' Sunday, and yeah, for sure. Peace out, man.
Peace.
Yeah, Raiders, baby, Raiders.